All right, welcome everyone. We are live, and here we go. Over to you, the host. Um, so yes, we have our host here, Lady Ayomide Olubumi. She's a corporate event host, and it's really good to have her. So yes, she would be taking over, and guiding us through as we bring up all our speakers tonight. So yes, over to you, ma.
All
Josie can
right.
join.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Um, my name is Ayomide Olubumi, and my name is Ayomide, and it's such an honor to be here. I am popularly known as Ayo the Media Girl, and today I am going to be your host at this virtual event, and it's going to be a lovely one. But first of all, Happy New Year to every one of you. It's a new year, it's a new season, and I know that a lot of us are reflected on the last year, and we are so pumped up and buzzing for the new year ahead. And I think, and I know for sure that the Race Summit is what this is about. It's about our reflecting into the new year, forging into 2025, and this is day two, and I'm so happy to be your host. And our line of speakers for day two are absolutely body of talent, amazing people who are doing absolutely amazing in their field, you know. And also, I want to just recognize our convener, Mr. Adura Migba Olayinka, and thank you for putting this together. It's not every day that we see this. So thank you so much for putting this together. And we're going to start, get right into it, get to meet some of us, that are joining early. A lot of people join earlier than this, and I'm just so happy that you take this summit as important as we take it. So thank you for joining. But then before we move into the event proper, I would love to meet some of us. Okay, I would love to meet some of us. And right before that, I hope you know our line of speakers. We have two keynote speakers, and we're going to be having a spoken word artist, an excellent person, a spoken word artist. We have Mrs. Folusho Badamosi and Mr. David Ebibe. I just want us to have our jotter, our pen, and our phone, if that is the case, to just put down something. Okay, so before we go into the event proper, I want to meet some of you. I want to get to know some of you. How are we doing today? I mean, we could have been anywhere, but we choose to be here. We choose to be flipping the year intentionally. So I want to meet some of us today and just, tell me your name and, where how it has been so far. I mean, how did you had a great start to your 2025, you know? So can we have Daniel Smart to tell us that you can start with Daniel Smart. Mr. Daniel Smart, are you with us on this call? Okay. What about Maxwell, Mr. Maxwell Okpele? So we have about 10 participants on this call currently. So Mr. Maxwell,
Happy
yes,
New
you
Year,
can be changing the
everyone.
mic. Good evening.
Evening, good to you.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year
Okay.
to you. Happy New Year, everyone on the call.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, wish all of
So,
us all the goodness of the year,
mhm,
greatness and light. And
all right. So can you tell us, is your 2025 up to a great start, sir?
all right, so good to be here. Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
All right. Can you hear me properly, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So is your 2025 up to a great start? I mean, today is first. I
Yeah.
know we did, yeah, okay. Okay, how
Yes,
has it
yes,
been?
very good.
How's it been?
It's
Have you
been
been
great.
outside?
Just rested. I've been outside now over the crossover, and then coming in is still I've rested and then attending to messages, and now I'm on this call.
Yeah, I can imagine the long messages that we have on our phone. Like, happy new year,
Yes,
everybody. You're
now.
trying to pray our
Yes,
way through the year. Yes,
yes, and more
totally.
that we still have to deal with before today will end. So it's great. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Okay.
It's been great.
Thank
Thank you.
you so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Maxwell. And
Yes.
can we have Mr. Ayodele Oluwole, if I'm correct? Can you just tell us if your 25 is up to a great start? I mean, I have a couple of people who are like, okay, this is this is not up to a great start, but we can always try again. But like, can you tell us how has it been? First off, I mean, we've not been here before. This is like our first time, so don't be shy. We've not been here before. It's our first time into 2025. So how has it been, Mr. Ayodele Oluwole? If you can hear me, please unmute yourself. Or I don't think he can hear me. What about Mr. Sunda Akobi? I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing these names correctly. Mr. Sunda Akobi, can we have you, please? Hello. All right. All right. So I think I'm beginning to think is only Mr. Maxwell that is physically here with us. So what about I don't know if this person is the Miss I'm seeing Temi Adiremi. I to you too. What about I don't know if it's Mr. or Miss Edward Gifts. This Gifts can be anybody's name. If you can hear me, can you please unmute yourself and tell us if your 2025 is up to a great start? All right. Oh, so guys, everybody, I am going to just, kick off this event. At this point, I think people don't want to talk. Okay, okay. I can see from Mr. Temi Adiremi, it's up to a great start with new possibility. I mean, if I cannot call, I mean, I can see everybody currently, so you can just put it in the chat and tell me if your 2025 is up to a great start. I will be reading it, and our host will also be reading it. And let's just have an amazing time today. Let's just have an amazing time. Our note, our jotter, let it be available to just take in some things that we can use, to navigate 2025. And be to give us, we want to hear from our convener, what it has in store for us, and a very short speech for our convener, the convener of the Race Summit, Forge into 2025, Mr. Adura Migba Olayinka. You can have the floor now, sir. You are welcome. Okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me and see me. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, but I cannot see you currently. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, you would see me right now. All right, here we go. Oh, yes. Can you see me now? Oh, yes. Good evening, everyone. And yes, welcome to 2025. The year we've all been waiting for, the year we've all been, speaking about and hoping, that we would get to. And of course, here we are right about now. We are in 2025. So to everyone listening either on Zoom or on YouTube, especially thanking you for, joining this call. And of course, thank you for making it, into Race Summit 1.0. As you know, this is the first year of the summit. So it's going to be happening every year onward. I do not want to say by the grace of God, but, of course, with the grace of God and, the help of people and humans to put it together. we would, definitely, keep having this every year. So just to remind us once again about why Ray Summit. The reason why, the Ray Summit is put together is to create more like not a regular event, is to create something that can help people transition into the new year, with energy, with insight and strategy, and to give them a chance to hear hope, from our speaker. To hear on how to be on how to make use of the next year. Please, can you help to mute the person? Hello, can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but there's somebody distorting the sound.
Oh, okay. Mr. Okweyemi, can you please help with that? Okay, I'm muting the person right away. Okay, sorry for that. Oh yes, here we go. Yes, here we go. So Ray Summit is to give the people, the opportunity to listen to hope and be in tune with to get into the new year with the mindset that whatever you've gone through the year that you are ending should not move you into the next year. So with that will give you the energy and the mental preparation to enter into the new year with a sense of hope and courage that, oh, this new year we are coming in and it's going to be good. And it's not just about making the year being good, but it's about being valuable, to God and of course humanity, and fulfilling your purpose, as it's supposed to be. So just to tell us why reflection. Probably some of us we've thought about this topic, forge into 2025, transforming reflection into action. Why that? This topic was chosen, to help people understand that there's a place for thinking and there's a place for doing. And probably we are going to play, a forward video of John Maxwell telling us how we need to move from just what we plan to what we do. So with that, it should help us understand that that it's not just about you thinking, oh, everyone can think, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but everyone should always, as much as we can't always fulfill all what we have in plan to do for the year or for the month, or we might not fulfill all our checklists, but at least we should be able to transform some of those things into tangible result. And how do you do that? By putting actions to the things you are thinking, the things you are reflecting in right here. And of course, it starts from right here. Mr. Jimitewe, told us about how everything starts from within. Transformation starts from within, and within is talking about your mind, your mental capacity to be able to dream, to be able to expect positively, and yes, and so again, to give us to tell us why we reflect, just to what happens when we reflect. And I want to bring it from a perspective of being gratitude to God. So try when you reflect on the past year, you are able to be gratitude. You are able to promote gratitude in your heart. And of course, that is such a great place to be, because it positions you to be prepared to receive what is next for you. Another reason, is that it allows us to pick up lessons that we've learned from the past year. So whoever you are, whatever level of influence that you are now, just get ready, because as you reflect on the past year, there's going to be a section after, our first keynote speaker will be a time where we'll hear all what we have to say about 2024. So get ready. It's not going to be, like the last session that some of us didn't talk, probably because we're not prepared. You are going to have opportunity to speak. So yes, get ready, to tell us how your 2024 was. Probably I will also share, at that time. So it gives you a sense to pick up what you learned from the last year. Another thing is that it makes you realize the opportunity you've missed, and also the opportunity that you're able to harness, and that gives you a sense of a sense of being expectant and open-minded for more opportunity, and it even helps you, it opens your heart to be able to be prepared for the to see any other opportunities that is coming your way in the next one. So as you reflect on the last year, you are not reflecting in regret. You are regret. You are not sorry. Let me put that together. You are not reflecting in regret. You are reflecting in with a gladdened heart to pick up lessons. So yes. Sorry, there is someone speaking. Oh yeah. So that's what it is, all about. That is what I can say at this time about the Ray Summit 1.1. Again, thank you so much for joining in, and God bless you. Please stay tuned all through the time. Of course, you already know the lineup for speaker, and I promise you, they are carefully selected, inspired. So yeah, look further to a good time at the Ray Summit Day 2. Thank you. Yeah, the host. Thank you so much. Okay. And over to you. Oh,
all right.
I don't know, but it seems. Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Aduragbemi, for the welcome speech. And I want to believe that we are all ready. We are so, ginger to put some things down and learn from people who are actually doing so well in their field. And, just have some take home. There's nobody that is an island of knowledge. So we just want to learn bits and pieces, here and there to just, make everything as good as possible for the new year. So thank you so much once again, Mr. Duramiga Online Car. And we have in our first speaker zone, and I just want to go through the chat box, because now, in case you don't know, there is a chat box in this Zoom meeting. You can put your thoughts, you can put, if I ask any questions, you can put in there. In case you don't want to talk, or you are in a very, lousy area or an environment and you don't want to talk, you don't want to distort the sound, and you can just put it in the chat box. It's right. You can just go through there, and you can see people talking, already having conversation there. And don't forget, this is going to be a bit more interactive than day one, hopefully, because we want to hear you, we want to get some sort of feedback from you. How was your 2024? What do you plan to do differently in 2025? I mean, there's a whole lot of content on Instagram, everywhere right now, on how to, do your 2025. It's just a whole lot of noise. But just how do you plan to do your own 2025? How do you plan to go about it? And I promise it's going to be an amazing time here today. And to introduce our first speaker, I want to believe our first speaker is right here with our the video. Our first speaker is not going to be here with us live basically, but we have a video to play to everyone. It's still almost the same as being here with us, but she can't make it because due to one or two things. And I feel like Mr. Aduragbemi will shed more light on that before he plays the video. And I'm going to be reading our introduction, a bio, just to have a knowledge a bit of who she is and what she does. Okay, Our first speaker is Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. I want to do my video. All right. Our first speaker is Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. She is a seasoned tech executive, a speaker, author, and transformation coach. She is a speaker, an author, and a transformation coach with over 2 decades of experience across diverse sectors and geographies. She is dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations to unlock their true potential and drive meaningful societal impact. As a seasoned transformation coach, Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi specializes in design bespoke training and coaching experiences that accelerate personal and organizational growth. Her expertise spans multiple industries, and she's passionate about harnessing technology to drive positive change and promote social progress. With a unique blend of technical expertise and coach acumen and industry experience, Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi is an invaluable resource for individuals and organizations seeking to unlock their full potentials. So basically, that is like the short introduction of Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. So we're not just bringing speakers who don't know their onions. These people know their onions, and they are here to help us forge into 2025, transforming reflection into actions. So, Mr. Adura Migba Olainka, if you can play our videos for us and a message for us today.
Sorry, we can't hear.
Yes, Mr. Adura and the technical team, please can you work on the sound? I cannot hear her too. So I'm thinking we're going to start the video all over again. Please, we need an audio.
And I'm really dedicated to helping people.
Can you hear now, please?
It's coming up, but we need it more audible than this.
But you can hear her, right?
It's very low. Very, very low.
Very low. Wow.
So that we can forge ahead with power. I really want to challenge you to pause, connect with your deepest truth.
This is actually the loudest.
I think we can manage, and I don't know, in the comment section, if we can have people talk, if we can manage the audio.
Okay,
but I
so
can
I'll
manage.
just start all over.
Yes, you can start all over. Thank you.
Here, welcome to my name is Folusho Gbadamosi, and it's an incredible honor to be here with you today as we prepare to forge into the new year. I'm here to talk to you about transforming reflections into action. And I really, really love the theme of this conference because I'm all about it. I'm a dynamic coach and also an MBA and certified practitioner, amongst other things. And I'm really dedicated to helping people discover and unleash their potential. I've learned that reflections are actually very, very powerful so that action. It's a contact that as we step into a new year that reflects on some of our actions from the previous year and previous time, so that we can forge ahead with power. I really want to challenge you to pause, connect with your deepest truths, and really leave here today with clarity on how your reflections can turn to purposeful actions that will shape your new year. Reflections are more than just listening, thinking, wondering.
Mr. Ajuragbemi.
Yes, please.
People can hardly hear her. If you check the chat box, it's a bit hard. Even for me that I'm in a very quiet place, I could hardly hear her, talk less of people who are not. So I think somebody was suggesting that if you can share computer sound on Zoom, I think it will make the audio
share
better.
What?
Annie said if you can share the computer sound on Zoom, I think the audio will be better.
So this field of life it's actually a tool that is widely used, and it has about 10 different categories. Now, what are these categories? These are categories that are saying that these are different things that you need in life to essentially balance, right? So we know that you can't just focus on your career, obviously, at the expense of your health. But you can't just focus on fun, recreation, and rest at at the detriment of perhaps your finances or your personal.
Okay, so please hold on, let me reshare, please.
All right, sir.
Hold on, please. Okay.
Now, that's
All right, how about now?
definitely different things.
Is
It's
it better?
It's still the same.
So,
It's still very low?
Yes.
Okay, please, can we go ahead with the next schedule? Let me quickly adjust it, please.
All right.
Yeah,
That would
thank you.
be better. I'm very sure our participants will be able to wait to, just for you to figure out how we can get the sound. Thank you very much. So, all right, so why the our technical team are working on the sound, and I think we just have more time to talk and interact with each other at least, because I want to get to know a lot of people today, and we have about 20 participants on the Zoom. I don't know. By the way, we are live on 2 platforms, on Zoom and on YouTube. So I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube right now, but we definitely have people.
Welcome to 2025. My name is Bishop Badamosi, and it's an incredible honor to be here with you today as we prepare to launch into the new year.
Mr. Dura.
Yeah, sorry, is this louder now?
Yeah, it is louder now. It is louder now.
So can we go with this?
Yes, we can go with that. We can
All
go
right,
with that.
thank you so much. So
Okay.
I'm sharing now. I think we're already about 2 minutes into it. Or should I just start all over?
Please start all over.
All right, that would be great. Thank you, bro, Kwame, for suggesting that. All right, just in a few minutes we go now.
Welcome to 2025.
Is this
My
okay?
name is Polusha Badamosi, and it's an incredible honor to be here with you today
Perfect.
as we prepare to forge into the new year. I'm here to talk to you about transforming reflections into actions. And I really, really love the theme of this conference because I'm all about growth. I'm a Gallup certified strengths coach and also an MBTI certified practitioner, amongst other things. And I'm really dedicated to helping people discover and unleash their potential. I've learned that reflection is actually a very, very powerful tool that leads to action. It's important that as we step into a new year, that we reflect on some of our actions from the previous year and even previous years so that we can forge ahead. With great power. I really want to challenge. Reflections are more than just, sitting around reminiscing, thinking, wondering. It's so much more. And I have 2 powerful tools that I want to use today as I guide you through reflections. I'm going to share my screen as I would like to take you through the Wheel of Life, which is one of my absolutely favorite tools when it comes to reflections. The Wheel of Life helps with, asking yourself some really deep questions in different categories and areas of your life. All right. So I'm guessing that you can see my slide right now. And here's the Wheel of Life. So this Wheel of Life is actually a tool that is widely used, and it has about 10 different categories. Now, what are these categories? These are categories that are saying that these are the different things that you need in life to essentially be balanced, right? So we know that you can't just focus on your career, obviously, at the expense of your health, or you can't just focus on fun, recreation, and rest as at the detriment of perhaps your finances or your personal / spiritual development and all of that, right? You definitely need different things to lead what we would call a successful life. Now, success in itself is defined differently by all of us. So my definition of success versus however these different categories come together as a whole to help us build a more successful life. So what are the categories? There's well-being and health, extremely important. Achievement and success, what does it mean to you? Contentment and peace, what does that mean to you? Your career or your business or your ministry, or maybe all three together. Your friendships, very important. Your personal and your spiritual development, extremely important as well. Your finances, fun, recreation, and rest. Your family / your home, your dating relationships, or if you're married already, your marriage, right? And now these different categories come together to really tell us what we should be spending our time on every year. Now, what I want us to do today as we go through this session, and you should have a worksheet that was given to you at the beginning of this session, is I want you to reflect on these different categories. And as you're reflecting, rate each of them on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So be honest with yourself about 2024 in each of these categories. So when you think about, as an example, your finances or your friendships or your well-being and your health, what would you rate it for 2024? And what can you do to improve it in 2025? Because remember that we're here talking about the new year. When you take a moment to do this, it helps you figure out some of the areas that you need to focus on in the new year. Because the truth is that we really should never enter a new year anyhow. We shouldn't just enter it thinking, let's see how things go. Because when you're not intentional, it leads to a whole bunch of different issues. In fact, there's a quote I love, and I'm going to try to find it very, 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 very quickly. It's a Zig Ziglar quote that says, I believe it says that if you aim at nothing, you would hit it every time. And that really just says that if you're not intentional, you will actually be successful because you're not being intentional about anything. Yes, it says, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. I love that quote. That quote is telling you that aiming at nothing will actually mean that you are successful at nothing. And I know that there's nobody on this session that wants to be successful at nothing. So let's spend some time making those reflections. Now, after you've done the reflections, and I'm hoping that the video would be paused so that you can take some time to do the reflections, I would like you to go to the link in your worksheet, 16personalities.com.
Hello, everyone. So please, the worksheet will be shared much later, and you can go through the process, but let's just assume you've filled that, and then yes, we start off.
And take your assessments, take your MBTI assessment. It's not a test, it's an assessment. We all have different personality types. And I'm going to talk you through that really, really quickly as we go along. Now, how does your personality affect your year? It affects your year significantly because the truth of the matter is that all of us process things in different ways. All of us think in different ways. All of us were created differently. And the way that we view the world is actually different, innately, naturally. It's not even, you trying to be who you are not, just how you naturally function. Now, I'm going to take you through just a few questions, but when you do the assessments, you will come up with 4 letters as your response, as your results rather, based off of all of your responses. So I'd like you to take the time to do this assessment. Now, there's 4 different categories that the MBTI assessment measures, right? And the first one is, are you outwardly or inwardly focused? So are you more extroverted or are you more introverted? Now, Extroverted people can be described as people that are talkative, don't mind being the center of attention. They have no problem grabbing the microphone and all of that. Whereas introverted people are kind of more reserved and private. They like to think deeply. They prefer a slower pace for contemplation because they really like to process their thoughts. They like to think things through inside their heads as opposed to outside and discussing with people immediately. And they like to observe rather than grabbing the mic. So which are you? Are you more E or are you more I? Now, remember that all these things are typically on a spectrum, right? So it's very rare that you're 100% of anything. You might be a little bit of one, but there's one that is your dominant. So what I want today is your dominance. And as you take the assessment, it will give you the results. The second thing that it measures is how do you prefer to take in information? Are you somebody that likes to focus on the reality of how things are? So you are very factual. You like facts, statistics, numbers. You want to know exactly what it is, right? Do you pay attention to concrete facts and details? Do you prefer ideas that have practical applications? Do you like to describe things in a very specific and literal way? Versus, which is sensing, versus intuition, which are people who like to imagine possibilities, big picture people, vision people, like to describe things in figurative, poetic ways, enjoy ideas and things of that nature. Those are the N people. Or the next one is, how do you prefer to make decisions? Are you somebody who likes to make decisions using logical reasoning? Do you value justice and fairness? Do you find flaws in arguments, right? So if people are discussing or arguing, you can pretty much see the flaws. Are you described as reasonable and level-headed? Versus those who like to make decisions based off of their personal values and how actions affect others. They value harmony and forgiveness. They like to please others and really point out the best in people. So they're constantly pointing out the best in people. Could be described as empathetic and warm. The last category, the fourth, is how do you prefer to live your outer life? Are you somebody who prefers to have matters settled? Do you think that rules and deadlines should be respected? Do you like step-by-step instructions, very detailed? And do you like to make plans? You want to know what you're getting into. Versus those that like to leave their options open. They see rules and deadlines as flexible. They like to improvise and make things up as they go. Spontaneous people, they love surprises, right? And really the four different questions that kind of categorize the MBTI personality types. And I want you to look at the 4-letter results that you've gotten and read what it says about you. So the 16 Personalities website has a whole bunch of different write-ups about your personality type, and I'd like you to read it and really reflect on if it sounds like you. Now, if it does sound like you, it also gives some tips and some advice on how to manage yourself better. The truth of the matter is that we all have different personality types, and it's very, very difficult for you to lead a successful life in anything that you're doing if you don't accept yourself for who you are. In fact, I am constantly talking about, people accepting their personality types, accepting their unique talents as given by God, the innate things that you were just freely given, and using those in a maximal way such that you are really able to maximize your potential and also build a community around you that has different types of people. So as you could see from the questions that were asked in the assessments, there's no right or wrong, personality type. There's no perfect or imperfect person. We are all imperfect people trying to maximize, trying to be our best and all of that. And as we fall into 2025, when you accept who you are, it helps you figure out what you should be doing, what you should not be doing. And it also helps you figure out the kind of communities that you need to build around you, okay? So it's very, very, very important that we pay attention to our personality types. Now, beyond that, personality types also influence how we approach our challenges, how we set our goals, and how we interact with other people. For instance, if you're an introvert, you may prefer quiet, more focused planning. If you're an extrovert, you might prefer collaboration and brainstorming with a team of people. People that have the T over the F prefer the logical strategies, while the F might prioritize aligning their goals with their personal values, right? All of these things are important as you forge into 2025. Now, the worksheet has a bunch of other questions that I'd like you to answer as well. There's reflection questions, and there's also a section for action planning. But I want to ask you a few questions as we proceed. What have you learned about yourself in this past year in these different areas, right? So look at the Wheel of Life and look at your MBTI personality type. How have they shaped your experiences? What have you learned about yourself? My next question is, what have you done that really matters in each of these categories, right? So when you look at the wheel of life, and let me put it back up, ask yourself how the wheel of life has actually influenced you in the different things that you do on a daily basis, right? So how has this wheel of life been of influence? How have you maximized any of these different categories? If you haven't maximized it, why not? What are the things that you should be looking into for 2025? All right, now, the third question is, what is holding you back? So when you did the ratings of 1 to 10, be honest about the ones that you scored low in and ask yourself, okay, what exactly is holding you back? And why have you not maximized that area? Remembering that these categories are all important, right? So we will not, sacrifice our health because we're trying to be successful. You will obviously also not want to sacrifice your family because you are trying to achieve or because of your career, right? So it's very, very important that you look at these different categories and think about the ones where you scored lower and how you can do better in 2025. Now, as we move from reflection to action, I want you to think about your why. I want you to think about yourself, your life. What are you building? Why do you do the things that you do? If you are in a career, why? Why are you building that career? And in what way do you want to build this? If you own your own business, why? What legacy are you building, right? But what are you really trying to achieve? Because when you think about all these things, it's easier for you to now forge into 2025 with, clear vision and clear direction. I want you to go to your worksheets and just take a look at the questions, right? What are you most proud of in 2024? What are those things that you did that you're super proud of? What are the things that you're not proud of? And what did you learn from them, right? So instead of focusing on, oh, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, or I failed at this, or I failed at that, what did you learn, right? What did you learn from the things that you might believe are failures? Because failures are always, always, always a way to learn. And it's always great to remember what you learned so that you can propel forward, so that you can not make the same mistakes again, hopefully. And so you can also advise other people and help them out. What relationships do you need to nurture? Relationships are pivotal. You see that in the wheel of life, there is a place there for relationships, friendships, separate from dating and marriage, right? Because these are actually extremely important. Now, how do you align your daily actions with your long-term goals, right? So when you think about the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, how do you align those with your long-term goals? And think about a word. What word would define your 2025? As you spend time reflecting, think about what word will define your year. Now, I want you to also think about some of the things that hold us back, right? Which obviously fear is a huge one. How are you going to use your personality type to conquer fear this year, right? Think about the things that you read about your personality type. How would you be more intentional in using that to conquer fear? How do you move when you feel stuck, generally speaking? When you're not being intentional, when you feel stuck, what do you do? If you're more intentional, how would you get unstuck? What if you fail, right? What if you fail? Failure for me is feedback. It's never, ever like a nail in the coffin because it's feedback. It's a tool for growth. It's only when you fully give up that you know that you actually failed because you gave up. And that doesn't mean that we should not give up on certain things. I mean, just giving up generally. Now, how do you balance all of the things that you want to do with your responsibilities, right? Because we all have responsibilities and we cannot pretend like we do not. How do you balance all of that? Now, if you look back at the worksheet that you were given, you will see that there's a space for an action plan. Based off of all of these questions and reflections, I want you to think about 3 actionable steps that you would take starting this new year. Thinking about your personality type, thinking about the wheel of life and the categories that you might have, just extracted as the ones that you want to really, truly give a lot more energy this year. You will definitely be giving all of these categories energy. It's just that you are giving them different levels of energy. So the question is, which ones do you want to focus on? And write your reflections and your actionable steps for 2025 as you live more intentionally. Now, as I begin to round up, I want to share with you a quote that I really, really, really love. One of my favorite quotes, which is a quote by Shakespeare that says, "To thine own self be true." To thyself be true is one of those quotes that I really love because it's actually a very, very, very simple quote, but it's a really, really, really powerful quote. Being true to yourself includes knowing that if you're an introvert or an extrovert, depending on which one you are, how you get your energy. Do you get your energy from people, or do you get your energy more from solitude? It goes into how do you process things? How do you think about the outer world? All of those questions that I asked in the previous slide about the MBTI assessments that you took on 16personalities.com. You see, when you understand yourself and you know how you get your energy, it makes your life so much easier. You don't go around constantly just being drained by life, being drained by things. You are programming your day, you are programming your life essentially, right? Because you know what works for you, you know how God has created you, and you're not pretending to be somebody else. On the other hand, if you don't do that, you will constantly be drained. And that's why it's important to be true to who you are, to thyself be true, not true to who, as an example, your parents necessarily think you are, because a lot of people also have not taken the time to really figure out who they are. They are focusing more on what they've been told that they are. Nobody can tell you who you are like you, because you know yourself. You know the things that when you engage in them, life comes to you. You know the things that when you engage in them, you are just like, why am I doing this? You know the things that when you engage in them, you feel like your passion and your purpose is being fueled versus otherwise and all of that, right? So you really have to take the time to be intentional about your reflections. As I begin to close, I want to leave you with these thoughts. As we forge into 2025, in a very uncertain world, I'm sure that we all know that the world is in a very interesting place right now. There's so much going on. How do you approach your year as an individual? Remembering that you were created for a purpose, right? That nothing about you is an accident, even the things that you don't like about yourself. And you do have to learn how to manage yourself with the things that you might not necessarily like, or the things that you don't feel are fruitful. There's something only you can contribute to this world. The challenges you faced, your victories, even the uncertainties, everything has come together to make you who you are. So how do you forge ahead with those? This is an opportunity to forge ahead boldly. It's a brand new year to embrace your uniqueness, understand your personality, own your personality, seek collaboration with people, build trust, build relationships, be authentic to who you are, while remembering that reflections are important because they lead to actions, which ultimately lead to transformation. As you reflect, on the questions I've asked, you are led with different things that would come to your mind, that say, okay, based off of this, you should do this better next. For many, many people, things like well-being and health are not prioritized. And it's only when people fall sick that they realize how important well-being and health is, right? If you've not been intentional with your well-being and health and you've rated it low when you were doing that exercise, what are you going to do next year? Sorry, 2025, to make it better? How will you take actions, or how would you plan in a way that makes your well-being and health more of a priority to you, knowing that without your well-being and health, all of the other things on the wheel of life cannot even happen, right? Because if you're not well, you're not feeling well, you're not, tip-top in good shape, it's going to affect everything else, right? So you really have to reflect so that you can act and you can transform your life. And as you transform your life, you would also transform the lives of those around you, especially those who your life directly impacts, all right? So I hope that you spend the time reflecting, and I pray that you have an absolutely phenomenal and extraordinary, intentional 2025 as you go and forge ahead with more intentionality, realizing that you are unique, you are special, there's a lot of value in you, but you do have to be intentional to reflect, act, and transform in order to have a successful year. Thank you for having me, and I wish you a fantastic rest of the summit/conference and an excellent 2025. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year.
25. My name is Felicia Badamosi, and it's an incredible honor.
All right. All right. All right, everyone. I hope you've been able to I mean, you were able to pick some things out of, what she have said. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. You were all muted before, but we can hear you properly, sir.
Okay, please go ahead, ma. Got to you.
Okay. that was really like a beautiful one. My notes is full, literally full. And there's just so many questions to answer. I mean, not to people, just so many questions to answer to ourselves, right? And the quote, I had to jot down the quote. It's just so beautiful to hear from Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. I thought I've reflected, honestly. I thought I've done, I thought I've done the needful coming into the new year, but right now I think I just have to go back and re-strategize, reanalyze everything that I think I have, gotten right. And I want to believe that every one of us, put down something and learn one or two from everything that she said today. Like, what are you building? Why do you do what you do? Why are you building the kind of career you're building? Currently, there's just so many questions to answer to ourselves in this moment. And I want to ask our host if we can, our convener, if we can get the worksheet that she talked about. Mr. Gbadamosi,
Oh, yes.
yeah, can we get
Oh,
the
yes.
worksheet?
Yes, please. It will be sent into a link will be sent into the group now. So please do well to join the group, and you are going to get the worksheets in the group.
Okay, there is a group, not a chat box. There's a group, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, if we can, for some of us that are joining from, the outsiders, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
posted.
have the link in the chat box. You can join the group from there, then we can from there take the worksheet. And someone is also asking if they can get the piece from Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. And I think they can get that from YouTube, right? Or they get it separately, Mr. Adramigbaro.
Oh, yes, they can. But yeah, we won't go through that in the meeting. It will be after this meeting. So
Yes,
yeah, we can post it
yes,
later.
I think that's what the person is trying to. So you we will get the worksheet in the community, please. Everyone you can join the community from the chat box right underneath the Zoom call. Yes, I know we have a lot of questions, and it's so sad that Mrs. Gbadamosi is not here with us to to answer those questions. Basically, you can still put the question in the chat box. I'm thinking Mr. Aduragomi can send the questions to her. If she can answer them, then we can send a community of people. I don't know if that's okay, Mr. Aduragomi.
Oh, yes, please. If you do have questions, you can reach out. I mean, you can send them in the group, and yeah, I'll get her across to her, and she would respond. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Like, that's just a beautiful one. I mean, the Shakespeare quote, to thy own self be true. Like, I know some of us were just like, we're gonna be eating that quote. Have you been true to yourself? Like, have you truly been true to yourself in your reflection? I mean, are you not thinking of what other people think about you when you're doing your reflection? All of that together. And take the time to be intentional about your reflection, and don't forget that you have value and there is just something that only you can add to yourself. All of this is for, about, it's not even up to 20 minutes video that we hear from Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi. And that is just the beginning. The beginning of the day two of the race summit. So we have another speaker that is definitely, going to be amazing as well. And please, your questions, put it down. This speaker is here live with us, basically. You understand? He can answer you as many questions. Although we are working with time, as many questions that you have, you can put it down. And if you want to speak, we will definitely give you the opportunity to speak to our speaker. And but before we introduce our next speaker, we we have some things to do. We have some questions to ask ourselves. We have some fun things to do. And this time around, you can unmute yourself to talk, you know, you can unmute yourself to talk and, answer the questions. So, apparently, so some of us, we have some things that we've done, in 2024 that, went the way we imagined, and the things that we did that really like is nothing to write home about. Honestly, I do have some sort of a reservation for 2024, but it's all round, dominantly, it was a good year. So what is that thing that you hope to do, that you hope and you really want to do differently in 2025? If you can have that, like if you can unmute yourself to talk, and I don't think if there is a raise, and you can also say it in the chat box. So all right, I'm in the chat box, and I will also be calling on people. If you can, unmute yourself, and if you are in a very like noisy area, you can just tell us in the chat box as well. So can we have Mr. Jibri Wajud? So can you tell us what you are planning to do differently? Like very intentional, that it must not carry me to this 2025. God forbid I would like do that in again. So if you have anything that you have in mind that you're not gonna do this 2025, can you just let us know? We have a lot of people that can learn from that. Mr. Jibri Wajud, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself. Can you hear me, sir? All right.
Oh, okay. I'm unmuting him now. I guess he has been trying to speak. Okay.
Oh, we are really sorry about that.
Okay, I've asked you to unmute, so you can unmute now, sir.
All right. Mr. Jib is still, I don't know, is it still, yes, he's still on the score.
You can unmute now, sir. Oh, okay. He's not responding.
All right. I mean, we have to move on. And can we have Mr. Daniel Smart? He's been talking in the chat box, and I would really love to hear from him. What do you plan to do differently in 2025? What is that thing that you don't want to hear about? In this 2025, you are really so intentional about. Please, you can unmute yourself, Mr. Daniel Smart.
Oh, he's also not unmuting.
Okay. Can we allow everybody to, I mean, are we like the option of allowing everybody to unmute, like if they can unmute, right? Mr. Adramigo.
Oh, yes, I'm doing that now. We just have to do that to control the
Yeah, I
distraction.
totally understand.
But yeah, anyone, while we get that sorted, anyone can just
Yes.
unmute.
So, Mr. Ayodele Olowole. Yes, you're raising your hands. So we have the raise hand option. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with Zoom call. I'm more of a Google Meet kind of person. So there's an option to raise your hand. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayodele. So we're gonna start from you. So if you have anything to say, please raise your hand. I don't know if you can do it, but if you can't, just unmute yourself. So Mr. Ayodele Olowole, can you please tell us what you plan to do differently in 2025? You've been asked to unmute. Mr. Aduragbemi.
You've been asked to unmute, sir.
Okay.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
properly, sir. We can hear
It's
you.
unfortunate that the question you're asking.
Oh, please kindly re-unmute yourself. Yeah, unmute yourself again, sir. Hello, sir. Please, you can unmute yourself. Hello, Mr. Yodele, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. I said I need to know the direction of this particular event, this particular meeting, this Zoom, because I don't get it. You know, we're asking that we should talk about our plans, and we should also talk about what we did not do rightly in 2024, which we want to do better in 2025. It's difficult for those things. A lot of people will not be able to disclose what they did wrongly and what they did they want to do rightly in 2025. So I don't know, maybe you have to change the approach.
Oh,
That
all
is why
right, all right.
everybody says it.
Okay, sir. I think you get the whole question. Okay, I want to believe you that you joined this conversation from the beginning of this. So what there are some certain things like we don't. I understand some people might not get the question, but the question is just to like that's one thing that like okay something like really happened to you. Probably you've been lazy in 2024 and you don't want to be lazy anymore. It's not something that you don't have to go deep into. We don't even want to hear that. We don't even want to hear the deeper part of the conversation. We just want to know, to just keep the fire burning and to, probably like, there's some people that may be thinking the same way as you, and you just want to like, encourage them that way. So we don't want your plan or your plans for 2025. We just want to know the heading, and that's just it, not something that's deep. But as like you said, we can change the direction of the question, if that's okay. Mr. Ayodele, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you clearly. I was
So-
where there was noise. That's why I was not talking. That when you said I should mute
Oh.
myself, I was quiet.
Oh yeah, please hold on,
Because
sir.
actually,
Hold on, sir.
my own issue is that a lot of my clients owe me money, and I don't know how to go about collecting my money from them. I don't know how to fight for my money. The only thing, once I ask and I get tired, I just leave them and move on to other issues. And I don't think it's right. So that is my major problem. I have a lot of money out there that I've not been able to collect. So I need to be able to have a way of which to collect money from my clients. Even well documented that I can go to court. I don't like taking my clients to court.
So you
That's my own.
Okay, so you plan to be very strict, like strict.
When you're too strict, they run away.
Okay.
How to manage them?
To manage
they don't
them.
get offended.
Yeah. So you plan to be okay.
You just still get your money. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to work without getting money.
Yes.
There are big clients that owe my office big money. When the company secretary has said if you take them to court on many occasions, I will say no. So in a Nigerian setting, if you take your client to court, you have drawn the line. But if it's abroad, yes, you can take your client to court. It doesn't, once they do something wrong, you can take them to court. But here, it's difficult to do that. So I think if we can think out a new approach to managing the situation in terms of how to collect pay on work done, because I'm sure a lot of other people have the same problem I have. I don't give bribe, I don't take. So I have it very difficult to get my money because most people want to be settled before they can process the payment. So I'm always patient, watching. So that's my major obstacle. There are jobs, there are works, there are things to be done, but how do you get paid? And Nigerians don't appreciate intellectual work.
Yes, and there are money to be made. That's also very important.
Physical work. People that use your manpower to do. But if you're using your head to do, they will not want to pay. And I'm involved in intellectual works. So that is my problem. I hope you can find a solution to that. Thank you.
I hope our next speaker will find the solutions. And I know that Mr. Aduragbemi will have one or two to say about that. Because honestly, I may not even be in the best position to say that. Are people owing me? No, because I'm very, very concerned with signing contracts, before anything. So I'm very, very concerned with that. So people don't owe me anymore. But I don't know, Mr. Aduramigba, do you have anything to say to
Oh,
this before our next speaker will comment on it?
oh yes. I mean, nothing much to say about that. Than to say you will keep getting, people will keep owing you. So you just it's not even about signing contract, because there are many contracts that are signed, and the person, it might be that the person does not have money, but it's just to create a systematic approach. So maybe you need to review the kind of maybe you are I don't know, maybe you need to do some checks before you finally approve getting into business with them, to know that whatever payment plan that that you are setting, they can they can deliver on that time, and to make sure that they consent that, oh yes, I can really pay. So yeah, but of course, doing business, other thing comes up. Even when somebody say yes to you, other thing can come up, and they would have to transfer the funds somewhere else or whatever. But I mean, that is I won't say that is part of what life necessarily, but I mean that is just part of the things we need to deal with for business people. So yeah, that is what I have to say. Our next guest won't be able to talk about that. But yeah, that's what I
Oh,
have to say.
okay. All right. So, Mr. Ayodele Olowole, and I think that should help a bit. I hope it helps, because it's actually not so funny. And the way you presented you make it so funny, because I can understand how difficult it is to be giving service and not getting monetary value that that you're supposed to get in return. And you don't want to fight because you've given the service. Why do you have to fight for your money, for what you deserve, what you agreed on? And it's almost like a betrayal of trust. And we all know what the country is talking about. We cannot really like going through the route of suing people, and it gets very, very exhausting. And I really hope you will strategize this time around, and you are systematical about it, and you are intentional about collecting your money back from these people. You want them way ahead. Right. And I hope what Mr. Aduramigba said, it's actually a fruit to you. All right. I saw Mr. Desmond Augustus raised his hand and he lowered it back. I don't know if you still want to talk, but while you're doing that, somebody in the chat box, I don't know if the person do not want to use their microphone, but I'm gonna read what the person wrote in. This is from Louisa Innocent. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She said, in 2025, one of my main goals is to step out and engage more with events that align with my aspirations. I want to immerse myself in spaces where I can meet and connect with like-minded, positive individuals who inspire growth and meaningful conversations. By expanding my circle, I aim to create an environment that nurtures both personal and professional growth, fostering relationships that are uplifting, supportive, and in sync with the values I hold there. I am excited to take this intentional step towards embracing new opportunities and build valuable connections that will positively shape my journey. And I really hope you get that. I really hope because it's actually very, very important that you go to event that are really, really aligned with your aspiration. Okay. Today I read somewhere that, as persons, I want to, volunteer to do some things, da 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 da. And when we're volunteering, we forget to look at the kind of events we're volunteering for. Some of them are not even aligning with what we represent and who we are. Like, let's assume that you're working in health and you're volunteering in tech, or you're volunteering in business. It's not your kind of thing. It's not your thing. So when you are everywhere, everything is scattered. You cannot build a tribe and a community. You need to be very intentional with everything that you do, even the clothes that you wear. And I'm very, very, like, I'm really happy for Luisa that you are taking this bold step. and it's a lot. It's a lot, and I hope you're going to take what Mrs. Folishok Badamosi said today. You're going to look, to your, personality test and see what really worked for you, and hopefully even the worksheets that we're going to be shared later in the community will work for you. And to everybody, to people who just join and people who do not get, the website that we can, do the test, it is 16personalitytest.com, 16personalitytest.com. So it's 16 like 1 and 6. You can go there and do your personality test, accept who you are. When you begin to accept who you are, you can, forge forward from that. And I don't know if Mr. Adura Migba has something to say as regards this, what is in the chat box, before we move on to the next agenda on the list.
Oh yes. So for me, if I should talk about my 2024, I would say, yeah, probably there are some things that I didn't get right. Not because I'm not capable or because I can't achieve them, but because I have quite a lot, on my decks that I didn't want to drop the ball on. So yeah, I just had to let some things go. And of course, one of the things that I was able to do was, setting up, starting up the race summit. So yes, that is a win for me. I think one other loss for me this year was yes, I think the first post we made on the Instagram account for the race summit, my account, so I collaborated with some speakers and my account, and I just couldn't find my account after like maybe 5 hours of doing that. So to me, it looks like what just happened. So I didn't even want to think about it, because apart from the race summit, I have quite a lot of project I'm also working on. My church crossover is there, and quite a lot of a number of things. So I just had to forget about that. I just process at that time, so yeah, so if there is anything you've lost, I'm sure I'm hoping I'll get that back by next week. I will see how I'm able to recover it. But that is just to encourage someone to say that whatsoever thing that you've lost, just try to think to do without it. Try to think how you can function without it, so that it doesn't distract your productivity for other things you need to get into. So yeah, maybe that is for someone. So whatever thing that is coming your way as a distraction, just take a side eye off, and forge forward and keep on taking actions. Yeah, so it won't affect your other deliverables and your other commitments. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Aduramika. So everyone, while we are going to be prepping for our next speaker to come up, and I would love us to put some takeaways from what Mrs. Folishok Badamosi said. Put it in the chat box. Feedback, what you think you're gonna take away from what she said. Just put it in the chat box, and it's good to hear from you and have some sort of feedback. And also, please, I would love you to answer this question. How was 2024 in the chat box? How was your 2024? One word, one sentence. How was 2024? For me, it's a lot. It's a lot. 2024 was just a lot. This was an all-round year. So put it in the chat box. We would love to hear, to read, and to just learn from everyone. And moving on to our next speaker of the day. I'm actually so pumped for this, and really, really happy. And our next speaker for today is Mr. David Eboigbe. Eboigbe. I really hope I'm pronouncing that surname correctly. And he's Mr. David Eboigbe is popularly known as Davidson. He's a comedian, entertainer, media personality, creative strategy. He's popularly known as Davidson is a dynamic comedian and entertainer with a flair for creating memorable moments through humor, performance. With a unique ability to connect with diverse audiences, he has become a favorite on stages across the country, delivering laughter and inspiration in equal measure. Beyond comedy, David is a creative strategist and media personality, leveraging his expertise to craft engaging content and entertainment experiences that resonate with audiences. His passion for storytelling and his commitment to excellence make him a standout figure in the entertainment industry. Before we call on Mr. David to take the floor, Davidson, the floor, our convener would love to play us a short video to have a feel of who Mr. Davidson is. Mr. Aduru Amigba, can you have the floor?
Oh yes, just to give a bit of context, this is just so you understand, who he is and see just one or two here.
Take a bold step and expand your online presence.
So for this depressing moment, gone are the days for those of us that were born in the 80s, 90s, good music, now we hear those days. Music, where say once you did down, you feel on radio, listen to music, you go day okay. Am I correct? How much I listen to Westlife those days?
Registering the
if you did down, if you just like this kind of break up time, there's a song for every moment. If you know this song, just sing it with me. I lay my love on you. Tell me I feel brand new. You open up my eyes and show me how you and walk right through. Oh yeah. Beautiful song, Abby. Before you.
Oh yes, I hope we're able to hear that.
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and
You've
clear.
got the business idea.
Okay, just a bit and we would have here this. So this is one of his song. Yes, a song that went very viral. Yeah, I mean it went viral. So here you go.
Just play. You think say na me you dey do. Just they play.
Hey, it's the remix. Davidson, Josh and Magneto. I know you didn't imagine it though.
Just they play.
Fresh out.
They play, oh, just they play.
Okay.
Gosh.
You no get body spray, perfume or hand wash, but every day you dey wash your Benz for car wash.
Just they play, oh, just they play.
Fresh out. Now pigeon they speak for house for Ibadan. Damn. What's your name? She said I beg your pardon.
Just they play, oh, just they play.
Fresh out.
All right, there we have it. Mr. David, over to you, sir.
All right, virtual class.
Oh,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening, Nigeria. Good afternoon, all over the world. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy New Year. I go by the name of Davidson, and I am humbled and privileged to be here. First of all, special shout out to the organizers. Adura, well done. Great job, man. I have watched the first episode, which was on the 28th, and I watched all of the speakers. I listened to the questions. I relived it actually, so it was afterwards, and it was amazing. Joining a few minutes ago, listening to Folusho Gbadamosi and, even the questions asked and raised, and the way you also treated the last question, amazing. Great job, everybody. I see a lot of people here. I mean, 20 participants. This is in no way small. So I want us to see it to handle it and the information that we're gathering here with so much importance, because for me, even Bible said where 2 or 3 are gathered, and look at where 20 of us are gathered in one room. I don't know if I'm making sense. All right. So
Sorry, you
is.
don't know if you're making sense. So that is one of his line. I mean, you need to watch out for his comedies, on YouTube. It will really crack you up. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Adura. I know I have limited time, so I'll just jump into what I want to share briefly. So just like the team, transforming reflections into actions. I particularly love what the first speaker spoke about, Olusegun Gbadamosi, especially how she spoke extensively about, personality, understanding your personality traits, developing before you can be able to put in the work to do actions. But thankfully, she has dwelt a lot and spoke, lengthily about that. So me, I will just go straight into action. I'm not here to laugh with you. I just want to go straight into what? Action, because I see that we spend a lot of time reflecting, which is very good. But a lot of people, especially a set of people called overthinkers, or the people who are perfectionists. This happens a lot with creative. I'm a creative by virtue of being a comedian of many years, a master of ceremony, a content creator, and even, a social commentator. I'm a creative. And everybody, even business people, corporate individuals, as far as you can bring something into life, or you have the capacity to write, to create, whether it's a book, it's a story, it's a business plan, you are a creative. So yes, I want to believe that I'm speaking to the right people here today. So action, basically. This year, I don't want us to do too much thinking, too much planning, too much, which is very good. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that before now, we have been doing that. That's what brought us here, right? I want to believe we have been reflecting, and we will still reflect. I'm not saying it's wrong, but then I want to dwell more on action. Like this year, we have to swing into action. And one of the secrets that you must know why I'm dwelling on this topic, action, is that you don't even have to figure it out completely. That's the truth. You don't have to have it completely figured out in your head. A lot of times, highly creative people, the most skilled people, the most gifted people are not the most successful people in the world today. You wonder, why? But they are the ones with all of the ideas. Because why? They dwell so much in that idea. They ponder, think about the goods, the ups and downs, the negativity, the positivity. And while they are doing this, time is going. And we all know that time is of the essence in anything you're doing. And I've learned that as a creative, any idea that you get today, whether it's to start a business, is to tell a joke, is to do a movie, any idea, that concept, if you don't run with it early enough, give it time, another person will get that same idea and run with it, and you will be shocked. You will now begin to say, somebody must have snitched. Is it that I told one of my friends and then the person nobody told anybody? The way it came to you, that's how it came to the next person. So it's whoever runs with it first that has it. That's the simple truth. So this year, what I'm urging us to do is to reflect. As much as we're reflecting, go straight into action. Go straight into action. Because a lot of times we try to, see how we can figure it out, have a good plan. What if it doesn't work out? And one of my friends would say, he's a rapper, his name is Priest, you might want to check him out. He says, the enemy of plan A is plan B. If you look at it very well, you will see that this probably doesn't make sense because, of course, it's good to have plan B now. Why not? If plan A fails, you go for plan B, right? But that's an enemy to plan A because when you always think that you have an options anyway, I mean, if plan A doesn't work, there's plan B. There's even plan C and plan D. You will not put in as much work. Now, this brings me back to the point I made that very creative people, highly skilled people are not the most successful people. Because why? Very creative people have options. Oh, they create this today. If this doesn't work, maybe I can do this one. Maybe I can do this one. There are a lot of options. So they don't put in as much. But less, I said this with all sense of respect and humility, less creative people, they don't get too many ideas now. But you see this one thing, that one idea that you have, oh, I'm going to open this business. That is only pure water that I know how to sell. That's what my father did, my mother did. That's the one I studied. That's what I know. Just that one idea, they will put in 110% into that one idea. And why you over creative, you have 10 ideas, you don't even know the one to put forward first. That man that has one is putting his life, his everything into that one. Who do you think will be successful? Who do you think will bring results? Obviously, the man that runs with one, rather than the man that has too many ideas, but he's still trying to calculate. Don't you think that this one, if I put in this effort, I will not be able to get this? So why you are putting all of that together? The man that has one idea has gone far. So this year, much more than thinking too much of, okay, what do I do? How do I do this? You need to act. A wise man once said, start with what you have. One of the people with perfectionists, one of the problems rather with perfectionists is procrastination. I actually call it the cousin of perfectionists, because you think, maybe it's too quick to put this into action. Let me sleep over it. And you are sleeping 2 months, 3 months. It's like you don't want to wake up from that sleep. That's procrastination, actually, because you continue to try to think. Successful people are not scared of mistakes. They are not scared of failures. You might laugh, look at how, because you, with your logic, with your creative ingenuity, you are looking at a successful person make mistake and you are laughing. You are criticizing the person to say, oh, look at, you would have done it like this. You would have done it like this if you had done it like this. Meanwhile, the person have learned from that one and is looking for the next step. But you, with your criticism, you have your own idea, not like you don't have, but you cannot implement it. But you are quick to criticize who has implemented and failed because you are too creative. You are too smart. So this year, don't even work with those. Be ready to do the work. Failure is not when you fail at a task. No, that's actually learning. Like someone said, it's feedback. Oh, okay, that's not how to. What's this? Sounds like you have switched. Can you hear me, everybody? My system is saying I've switched language. Can you still hear me in English?
Yes, we can hear you properly, sir.
I don't know why they say I switched my language. All right. So successful people actually take risk. Yes, that's why somebody will bring in hundreds of millions and put it into a business, bro. Or even in the music industry where somebody will just sign an artist and immediately is spending 20, 50, 80, 100 million on one person that you don't know if they will buy a song or not. Risk. If the person blows up tomorrow now and begins to make returns now, there you say, oh, that's a successful, business transaction because the producer or the record label owner signed this person with X number of money. And in a few years, due to sales, shows, streams online, the person is reaping his harvest, right? Successful people. Not so successful people will have 100 million and feel like, how will I sign this artist? What if he leave me tomorrow? What if I don't make the money back? What if this? What if that? True. You still have your 100 million, but you lost a chance to triple that amount in a couple of months, if not years. All right. So I also wrote here that, let me take some examples. For example, there's this guy that's trending now on TikTok, in fact, everywhere. It's a small boy. His name is Pella. I see his comment section and I see what that boy is pulling now on social media. And a lot of people try to talk down on him and say, oh, he's not even funny, that he has to even come outside and make videos to say, I'm not a comedian, I'm just a streamer. Some people say, I don't even like him. He's not funny. How come you people find this guy funny? Hello, where are the funny ones? They are not putting in the work now. They didn't do it. The boy saw something, saw an opportunity. He took advantage. The whole world accepted him. And now people are criticizing to say it's not funny. You that is funny, do it now. Do it now. Maybe you have the same phone, the same character. Maybe you will do it too. So successful people do not think, because if the Pella thought about it, he would have, oh, maybe I'm not a comedian. People will say I'm not funny. People will say I'm not this. Before you know, he has killed that dream. But guess what? Somebody else will be the peller. Somebody else that does not think too much will carry that same character, will wear it, and will be the person that will be celebrated. So that's what I mean when I say don't ponder too much about things. As soon as you have an idea, look for people who are already in that space. It was a wise, a Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, that said you should focus on the things that you can control, not on the things you cannot control. You can't control what people think or say about you, but you can control your actions. You can control your reactions. You can control how you are consistent and diligent with your work. You can control your thoughts. You can control your actions, your attitude. You can control how you trust, or rather how you treat people. You can also control how you carry yourself. Now, before I touch how you carry yourself, your actions, your attitude, I think it was Mojibade in the last session that spoke about.
Okay, also the one you see the.
Sorry, you want to mute your mic? That it was Mojibade in the last session that spoke about this Bible passage that says, whatever your hands finds to do, do it well. This sort of just commemorates everything I've been saying. Whatever you are doing, whether it's your work or it's somebody else's work, do it well. Do it diligently. There's a saying now that you do it and they say they are using you. They are using you. Maybe it's because you are useful that they are using you now. Maybe when you school in Nigeria, after your years of university, the government will use you. It's called NYSC. You will go and serve, man. We always call it using, but it's actually training. It's training. Even in the Bible, if you look at everybody that God used, he put them through different tests, different training. From David in the Bible, there was a time he was in the cave. Everybody went through their own stages. So don't let anybody lie to you. Just call it, when they are calling it, they are using you. Call it internship. I'm going there to learn, to train. So this is focusing on the things that you can control. Because why? I'll give you a personal example why you should be very diligent in your own work, right? So I'm a comedian, an MC at events and all of that. And there's these people I work for. And I will start by saying, and by asking this question, have a wicked person loved you before? Okay. Now, while I'm asking that as a rhetorical question, this is what I mean. So there's this woman that, I worked for them some time ago, and each time she calls me or she stumbles onto me, so maybe at the mall or anybody, they are planning another gig, another event. The only thing she tells me is, have they called you? If I say no, don't worry, they will call you. Or she will say, don't worry, just come. Why haven't they called you? And I'm like, this woman is too sweet. She just puts in word for me everywhere. She just makes sure, I'm the go-to, I'm the guy that they contact. She makes sure any job that comes out from that company, any event that they are doing, it has to be Davidson. I'm like, I don't know. But there was somebody that was doing it for years before I came in. But as much as she just loved the boy. Said, this boy, don't worry. And I began to wonder, not like I did anything special. Of course, I did my job, professionalism, blah, 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 and went. But since that day, so when I knew that this woman is not the angel that I used to think, like, oh my God, this woman, was the day that she changed it for her staff. Bro, I was weak. Now we're in a room. I was planning to go up, and then a lady walked in, and the next thing she just asked a question, and the way this woman changed it for this girl, 0 to 100, like it was like a village witch kind of changing it. Do you know when somebody is that harsh to you? And even me, I'm like, is it this same woman? In my head, I was not processing, is it that this girl stole her husband, or because it was 0 to 100, it was real. In a professional setting, you hear somebody wash somebody and reduce somebody to nothing. Even me that was a friend, I had to comport myself. Say, maybe this woman is not in a good mood. So that I will not go and collect stray bullets like that. So I just maintain my own. Immediately she rained those insults on that girl, blah, 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 blah. She turned to me, David, what were you saying again? I said nothing, I respected myself. I said, No, not in my eye. I have it under control. She now laughed. And I said, don't worry, David. I know. Just go up. Tell them this, tell them this, tell them this. I'm like, eh? The lady that they just insulted. No. Still came up again to say, but ma, don't you think that she gave her another one? This was like from 0 to 100, 100 to 0 to me. And again, back to 0, back to 100 again. I'm like, So I noticed it. After the whole event, the lady walked up to me and said, I don't know what I did to this woman. She's always like this to me. She's always like this to me. I'm like, okay, you too, what did you do? You must have done something. Because this woman is the sweetest person in this organization as much as I know. She said, I don't know. And when I really followed her up, we began to talk. I said, true. Well, it's where we come from. There's a way we talk. Some of us don't really know how to talk. We don't have manners. We don't know how to present ourselves in corporate organizations. We just feel, maybe all of us are Nigerian. We just talk, wow, and we just open our mouth. And some people, especially people born in diaspora or people that have lived there, they see life differently. So you don't just come and present, you present yourself the way you are. Say, but that's how I talk now. That's how I am now. And people will treat you how you should be treated now. So this is why I take it to the next step of my teaching, which is personal development. Personal development is something that everybody needs at all levels. You need to develop yourself. There are some things we see because of our environment, where we grew up, where, we began to see life at first. There are some attitude that we picked from there, and we sort of just feel like, maybe it's the normal thing. Some of us are used to, most of this is abuse, but we don't know. We just think that's how we talk. When I talk, I just talk. I'm just saying my mind. People will treat you how they are also. That's the truth. So you have to develop yourself. Look at people, and how you do that basically is a system I called using the mirror, which is of course reflections. How did I describe that? I did describe that somewhere. I said, okay, the mirror symbolizes, it says a mirror can be understood as a metaphorical tool for reflection, self-awareness, and perception. It symbolizes the process of examining one's inner self while understanding one's own identity and confronting truths about reality. So this truth about reality goes beyond, this is who I am. This is how I've always been. You now continue to use the mirror. There's something I learned when we were in secondary school then. It's called the 4-way test. When we joined one of those clubs. 4-way test. You will look at the mirror and ask yourself, this thing that I'm doing now, the attitude I'm putting in somebody else's business now, because you work for someone. If somebody else, my employee is doing this to me, will I be happy? You might say, my salary is not good. After all, the boss is not even treating me well. However, give in your best. I currently live in a society where before you get a job, you need a reference from your past employer. They probably need to put in a word for you to say, okay, you've been good. Imagine you are not diligent with your work. How will that employer put in word for you? A lot of times, a lot of people are frustrated, and then they will now use those experiences to say, I will never give in. You write people off. You burn bridges because you feel like this person is a no, don't do that. You need people. As much as you think that the world revolves around you, it's only you, because you are all about yourself. You need people. You don't burn bridges. Whether they are good, they are bad, they are terrible. You care less about how people perceive you, or rather how people's action affect your emotions. But you must be careful how you react to certain things. So people's actions should not get to your emotions. Train yourself, develop yourself to the point where you react because this is the right thing to do at this time, not because somebody triggered you. You now react in a certain way. So now, I'm rounding up. I told you I will not waste your time here. Good. So that's why personal development is very important. Because if you develop yourself to the point that you don't need anybody's validation, that's another thing that kills creativity. When you have an idea, you are looking for people to validate it before you run with it. Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Don't get me wrong, this thing is very good. But if you see yourself doing it too much, or somebody's negative feedback impacts your idea or what you received, then just know that you just made a mistake. You shouldn't do that. We live in a world of social media now where you just have to bring it out. If you are doing a business, you have a product that is in the market, look for a way to bring it to social media. And don't be afraid of feedbacks, whether it is positive or negative, because social media is social. It's everybody. It's a marketplace. Don't be afraid of feedbacks. Bring it out. Put it out there. Let people see it. People will say, hey, I use your soap. Oh, this is your soap. I noticed this and this and this. Don't react to say, hey, get out. What are you saying? You are saying trash. Thank you for your feedback. We will look into it. It is simple. The person that criticized it will be amazed that, oh my goodness, what kind of response is this? I was expecting, a no reply or probably to give me back. But you respected me and gave me a positive feedback. Now the person is looking forward to patronizing you as soon as he sees that you improve in your product or service. So please do not try to find too much validation in things or in people. No. You don't need that, bro. The world is your oyster. The world is yours, bro. Anything you think of, as far as you believe in God or whatever you believe in, and you believe that he is the one that inspired you with that idea, run with it. Pray about it, prepare, run with it. Also, surround yourself with people who inspire you. Oh, this is one of the reasons why many good people, we know a lot of people that have good hearts, kind people, people who are upright, who will not do anything shady or negative. They are not the most successful people in life. But you see those demons, those very wicked people, those people that you ask them for 1 naira, they will not give you, even though you know that they have 30 billion in their hand. They will not give you a dollar, not because they don't have it, but because they don't see a need to give you their money. Not because they are not compassionate, but they will never show you mercy. You would think that God should punish this one, Sabi. But those people keep excelling in life. Those people keep breaking grounds. Those people keep doing big stuff. Why? Because they learn to take actions. They learn to push. They know that by strength, I cannot prevail. So therefore, you see this, my 1 cent that I have, I will protect it and make sure I increase. They know. But you see these good people, kind people, they don't do much. Why? Because they always wait for things to come. Overthinking. Oh, let me see if I put in, don't you think I will? Time they go. And then people that have no time, they are putting the work and they are getting the results. So you must move from there. Friends that encourage you, friends that give you feedback. Feedback may not always be nice feedback. Some of them are negative feedback. However, they must be constructive criticism. These are people you must have around you this year. How do you know that? If you have people that talk to you or give you a feedback, and after that feedback, you feel demoralized, you feel like you are demotivated, run away from those people. They are dream killers, destiny killers, and all kind of killers, even go like they are snipers, if you must say. Because these people, they don't know what they have done to your spirit. Because you see, our eyes and ears, they are gates. They are gates through which things enter. So you must guard it very well, because things that get into, you might just say, the person just said it. It doesn't mean it. Bro, he has gone to store somewhere in your mind. And somehow in your subconscious have been wounded. That you see that fight, that agility to push, it will no longer be there. Because of that one word, Baba, go, you are not good enough. Who told you that you can do it? Now your type, they do that kind of thing. That's the voice of the devil. All right? So you must surround yourself with, and don't be afraid to lose negativity, because you will lose a lot of people if you commit yourself to develop yourself. You will lose a lot of friends. years ago, I think in 2012, where I was encouraged to join Daystar Leadership Academy, DLE then, which is now Enterprise Leadership Academy also. Bro, I was young. And I remember at Daystar then, they were men, I mean, captain of industries, men, business owners, rich, like big people, way older people. I was just there looking at all of them, even the people sitting with me like, what am I doing here? To be honest, coming from where I was coming from, I didn't understand half of what they were saying. But it was Daystar Leadership Academy. I knew because I used to roll with much older people when I was very young. So I used to always look at them like, so at that time, they just tapped me and said, hey, boy, you said go. We have gone. It was good. You go too. And I felt like, let me register. And I went. So I was looking at myself like, what am I doing here? At the end of the conference, I performed. And everybody loved, hey, this guy, so you're a comedian. Yeah. But one thing that stood out for me was the prayer that Sam Adeyemi prayed at the end of the DLA program, at the end of our set. He prayed prayers, impacted everybody. And trust me when I say that all of the things that I said, I didn't understand all through the, I think, 1 week of teaching, everything began to come true in my day-to-day life. Everything began to make sense, from family life to personal development to health and wellness. All of the courses that used to, I was passing the test, so don't get me wrong, but you know that when you just read to, you know, some exam, you just read to pass, not like you know what you are doing. Let me just pass and leave. But everything was making sense. And then I realized that many of my friends then, we couldn't communicate again. And this is not a case of pride or anything. It was a case of, I was looking at me like myself, like, how will you expect me to do this? Like all of those youthful exuberance and all of those childishness, because I was at that age actually. But the people at that at my level, they're not going to think, I'm not going to think waiting that they think anymore, because we just couldn't relate. And then one by one, they just began to, do without me. And that is just to say that you will lose a lot of friends when you commit to personal development. They will say you are forming. In the city where I live, I remember I did a video like this some months ago. You will go out to buy things in a Nigerian store, and when you see how they relate, I'm wondering, you are in North America. You should be behaving as if you are exposed, because you can't go back to Nigeria. And some of these people left Nigeria during the time of Awolowo, so they don't know that Nigeria has developed far more than, when they left. So they still carry that myopic. And to me, I feel like you need to develop yourself. If not, you continue to play small. And guess what? When they see a white person, a true Canadian, walk in and ask them questions or try to relate with them, the approach is different. So you just see that this is just a personality thing. Like this one, you are just small in thinking. You still see the white people as superior, while your own people, you still see them as if they are, far below. And to me, it just doesn't make sense, because you've not developed yourself. So in 2025, commit. How should you develop yourself? Your role models, mentors. Everybody should have somebody that they look up to. Somebody that is, is doing what you are doing, but is doing it in a bigger scale, in a larger scale, right? You need to know that person. Sometimes that's why I'm grateful for social media, because social media can bring you very close to these people. You have these people, go to their DMs. You don't just say, hi, I need you. And one of the worst mistakes that a lot of people do when they approach celebrities is, hi, you now leave it there. Hi, that's what? What should I say when you tell me hi in my DM? There are a lot of DMs, so you should tell me what you want to tell me, so that if I eventually see it, I can respond immediately. Or you now go to ask for a favor. You have practically ruined that chance. Rather, look for something that you can offer to that your role model. It might not necessarily be money. Just say something nice, how you are inspired by his or her work. That way, it is easy for the person to get touched. And even if it's just a like or a thank you get, you have attracted him. And like it or not, anywhere you stumble onto that celebrity, if you mention your name and mention what you did, as far as he reacted, he will place it. And that's how you build a relationship. But now, how do you even select a role model? Because these days in our generation, we don't even know how to select role models. A lot of people look at celebrities and say, I just like the way he dresses. I just like him because he's funny. Whether he gets sense or not, you don't care. As far as you like how you dress, that's all you want. And then the person can come out and say rubbish, and then you will still be defending in the comment section. I see no wrong here. You can never do wrong in my eyes, which is good, loyalty. But when you now begin to adopt all of those principles, you begin to ruin your own life. You begin to ruin your own situation, because you are using that person's problem to create a problem for your own self. Okay, so lastly, before I answer the question that was asked, I just want to say that whilst we are putting our reflections into actions, let's understand that in the life that we live is controlled by God, right? I understand that a lot of people here might not believe or might not be Christians or don't believe in God, but you will agree with me. A lot of my friends who are atheists have also agreed with me that there's a higher power that controls the world. Now, let us call that higher power God. And if you truly know how God works, how God operates, God respects principles. God respects and honors principles. God is not a God that will abandon because I'm God and you will just jump over principles and everything. There are a lot of people that got quick success overnight. They blew up. But if you don't adopt some of these principles that I've taught here today, which include self-development, character, attitude, you will blow up now. But after some time, you will need attitude, character, consistency to sustain that blowing up. If not, the way you take go up, now so you go take. But that will not be our portion this year. A lot of people, as you know, have trended, have gone viral, have done big stuff. And today they are like past glory. Not because they don't have the fortitude to do more, but because when they blew up, there's no consistency, there's no character, there's no follow-up to be able to sustain that brand. So what happens is that they just platoon. So you must understand that it is God that giveth grace for all of this. Don't get it wrong. We might speak all the English in the world. We might use all the logic to tell you, this is how to go about it. But it is God and God's grace. Even Paul said it in the Bible. He said, although I labor more than other people, I work hard. It's not like I don't work hard, though, but it is the mercy of God that has brought all these things to me. So we must always understand the God factor in all of these things. Because 2025 is not a year, like I said, to ponder on too much. Is that one thing that you have, hold it first of all. Leave plan B. It's a good thing you have options. But look at your book, your jotter, look at where you put things down. Hold one idea and say, let me start this business. Let me create this. Let me see how I can bring in investors, right, to people. Once I'm able to bring them in, and this is flying, as much as this is now being a success, I can then begin to introduce other things one after the other. Because our people will say, they put audio hand for mouth at the same time. You have to be very, very strategic. Now, to answer the question, which I think Adura already answered anyway, Mr. Ayodele's question. So basically, if people are owing you like that, nobody will they know they owe, to be honest. Everybody they collect. Everybody is being owed, has been owed. They will still owe somebody again today as we are talking, even in this new year. But first thing, like Adura said, build systems. Build systems. Let people know that this is a business. And you don't have to be harsh about it, but you have to be firm. You have to be firm. This is business policy. So conduct your business not like a regular, let them see you that you are doing business. I'm in the business of comedy. Sometimes some people tend to call it a joke. And sometimes the joke is, now these days, the joke is on them. For example, booking me for an event, I send you an invoice telling you that if you don't pay ahead of time, we don't have a contract. And it is 1 or 2 days before the event, you are telling me, Davidson, don't forget us. You are a joke. You are playing with yourself because I don't even have a contract with you. Do you understand? Let me tell you a quick story. In 2013, I did a book launch event, and the client was to pay me 40,000. Then that was the agreement, right? So after the event, he said, come now, I'll pay you after the whole thing. So he was that rude. Come, what's that? I'm not paying any advance. Come, I'll pay you after the event. Beautiful event, had fun, killed the event. After the event, everybody had gone. It was me and this guy. This guy was doing me story. Long story short, he wrote me a check of 40,000 and says, go and cash it in the morning. So I said, no, I will go to the bank. It was one funny bank then. I went to the bank the next day. They said they are not giving me the money, that they shall bounce the check. It didn't make sense to me. So I called him. I said, bros, this check, they say they are not paying me that this. He kept on screaming on the phone. Why didn't you tell me you are going to the bank? Is that how you do? Is that how you do? I'm like, wait, this is my money now that you paid me for the service that I rendered yesterday. And you also said I should go to the bank this morning. So why should I call you this morning before going to the bank? He ended the call. I sent him a text. He said, you are not serious. You would have called me before you are entering the bank. I said, sorry, I'm still at the bank now. What should I do? He didn't respond. I called him and called him and called him. He didn't pick my call. So I called Alibaba. He said, send me a text. He was busy at an event. So I sent him a text. Alibaba is the king of comedy in Nigeria. So I said, sir, CEO, there's this guy that doesn't want to pay me, and he gave me a check. He paused. That was the part he held. He said, he gave you a check. I said, yes. He now said, tell him that you know what to do with the check. That was what he told me on the text. I'm like, sir, but what should I tell him I know what to do? He didn't respond to me again. So I said, sir, please, I don't know what to do. He now said, he now referred back to that message. He just put full stop, which means tell him you know what to do with the check. Immediately, I just sent this guy a check. I said, bros, no wahala, thank you very much. But now that I have the check, I know what to do with it. I also put full stop. Ladies and gentlemen, I was still at the bank in the car. When that guy, no, which car? I wasn't driving that time. I'm trekking home. Which one the car? I was still on my way home when the guy called me immediately, said, check your account. It wasn't up to 5 minutes. I have sent you that money now. I said, I was still surprised on the road. I'm like, how is this possible? Just now, he said, Davidson, please tear the check. Tear the check immediately. I'm like, why is he insisting that I must tear the check? I said, no problem. I ended the call. I checked, truly, the money was in my account. He called me a few minutes later. He said, have you turned that check? I say, yes. He said, please, I beg. Just tear him, I beg. You know, say, he be my brother. We come from the same state. So why you going to behave like this now? We know they fight. So he was the one telling me all of this now. I was still surprised. Like, what is this sudden change in less than 5 minutes? Guess what? Till today, we are still friends. So till today, he became one of my closest clients till today. Months later, when I would jam Alibaba, about 2 years later, rather, when I would jam Alibaba again at an event, and I told him also, thank you very much. That guy paid me, and blah, 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 blah. You know, I laughed. I said, sir, but what exactly is that check like? That thing that you said I should tell him, what exactly does it mean? He said, bro, do you know that with that check alone, you can make at least 30 million from him? I'm like, how? He said, if you sue him, you have a contract. Pay me for an event, and then he gave you a fake check that if you have a good lawyer, you can make so much money and you will ruin that guy's life. And then I folded my hands and said, wow, in just one word, just one conversation changed. The person will tell me saying stubborn. He doesn't want to pay for my service. And one word, one consultation changed everything. Now, I said that to say this is why we need to look for people in our business space, people that are in the same industry with us. Not just become competitors with them, but to also learn from them, especially people that have gone ahead. Like it or not, in the business that you are doing now, there's somebody that is also doing it in a bigger scale. Try to find them. That's why social media is a beautiful tool now. Look for them. You don't necessarily have to meet them one-on-one. You just have to be their friend. There are ways that you can be friends with people that are successful. First of all, look for their area of need and try to meet it. Try to be their friend. See what you can leverage that relationship. And when you ask questions, when you try to share your own pain, you will not know. It might just be a sentence that will just change the trajectory of your business. People will continue to owe, but the way that and manner that you carry your business. Today, much as they say comedy is a joke, it's comedy that we are doing. But a lot of people have been forced to believe that comedy is a serious business now. It's not something that those nonsense people just come and crack jokes and go. No, it's actually a serious service. It's a service that you know that just the way you go to your 9 to 5 is the way we also resume and create our company and plan our business. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all I have to say. I hope that you picked a thing or two. Thank you so much for having me, Adura. Thank you all for your time. I don't take it for granted. And if you have questions, I'll still be here to see how we can brush through it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. That was a beautiful, wonderful one, honestly. Thank you for that insight. Of course, we will definitely have some people that will have questions. And personally, I'm very sure that the convener will have one or two. And we're just happy that you're here. Honestly, I am happy that you're here. And I've jotted like a lot of things, written a lot of things down, personally. And while we are here, if you have any questions that you don't want to use the mic, you can as well just put it in the chat box. And if you want to talk directly to our speaker, you can, raise your hand. And so, sir, personally, I think I will go first. If you are, while we wait for our audience to put in the questions in the chat box. So I personally will go first to ask you these questions. I mean, I don't know how many people might have the same thoughts as mine. So while doing this, the planning and talking with Mr. Adura Wemi, and I've always wanted to know how this what you do, right? What was it like, coming up as a person, when you started, this is a new year, we're trying to reflect and go back to, what we did wrong or we're trying to do right, all of that together. So what do you think? What do you think that you get it right? When do you think that, this is the time that I know that, I think I'm doing something right in your own journey to stardom, your journey to personal development, to be who you are right now? But what do you think? This is the time I know that I am doing something right. How did that happen? How did that come about, sir?
Okay. So first, I think that was when I began to come out of the box that I would say I was put in. Because sometimes people around you sort of put you in a box and you begin to hear things that, that will sort of keep you in that box. You would think these things are good, are compliment because they are nice. You would think they are always positive feedback, but they are creating a box for you that you are dwelled in, you are sitting in comfortably. And that's how you soon become a legend without you knowing. So once in a while, it's good to come out of that box and tell yourself the truth. What do I really want? What really makes me happy? I found out when I began to pursue personal development that I was over-seeking validation. Some of these things I shared now were things that I used to do. It was a very big part of me because I'm a well, like things come into my head freely and I like to share. Sometimes when I'm around, people just take, I like this one. I'll be like, take it now. Because I believe that, of course, more will come. Legend. That's how I mock myself. Do you understand? Legend. So people will put you in that box that you don't have any problem. Meanwhile, your major problem is actually trying to do the actual work, trying to put things into action, right? You don't have a problem with creating. You don't have a problem with doing things, but you have a problem with putting it to work. That's why no man is an island, like we all know. Some people don't have all that luxury of creativity and all of that. That small one that they have. So when I began to do things, when I knew that, I think I'm getting it right now, was when I knew that I don't even need you to validate me anymore. I don't have to come to you to validate me anymore. Social media is my, what's it called? It's my table. I put it on there and I watch my feedbacks. I read comments a lot. A lot of people reach out to me both in the DMs and everything to say, bro, I love this. This is insightful. This is love. I think you should continue this. But when I used to go after people, my friends, my family, anybody I see, what do you think? Before I implement it, what do you think? Then the person might not have been in a good mood to listen to me at that time. But just one reaction like, bro, I don't get time now. Why are you asking me all of this? Just that reaction can ruin that idea because you feel like, this person did not validate this. So it means that it is not good enough. So when I knew that things are beginning to change for me was when I began to do things, without too much consultation, without too much asking. Of course, you need to, let me balance this. I am an overthinker. I'm a perfectionist. All of these things I complained about, that's my it used to be my personality, to be honest with you. Let me be vulnerable. But I've come out of that space to be able to understand that, hey, bro, you don't dwell too much in all of these things because you will not be able to do much. And I always audit myself. I always use the mirror a lot. Like most of the things that I've done, like all of the trends that I've created that have gone super viral are things that I never prepare for. They are some of my most spontaneous walks. Like I was just playing guitar. A friend of mine was playing guitar on the streets, and then I was just singing along. A camera was rolling, and then we're singing just they play, oh, just they play. That's how that trend brought about a song that went super viral. I was doing this normal filling the gaps conversation stuff that we do when we used to grow up. It was the most spontaneous joke I ever created. And then that went super viral that even till today, a lot of people still liking me to that character, Normal. In fact, it's one of my most, marketed brand ever. Because these things were spontaneous. But you see the ones that are always created, like, no, you will give them this. I will write 13 episodes before I drop one. Like, I have to make sure I see the end before bro, most of those things, they don't travel as much as these ones. So putting all of this together, I just knew that, bro, just go with the flow. If you look at what trends on social media today, somebody just picks up his phone and talks a 30 seconds video and tells you, what's all those lines again? Just says rubbish, boa. But you that set proper camera and ring light and try to, those things are beautiful, don't get me wrong. There's a point you also get to. Now, let me balance this. There's a level you will get to with all this your viral content, like 30 seconds and boa. There's a point you will get to. It's your audience that will be telling you, you have to grow up now. You can't still be doing, all of this mediocre work. You have to put in work. You will then know that it's time to invest in this. But when you don't have that capacity to buy all of the cameras, all of the big, great stuff, and put up big productions, start with what you have. So when I learned that, was when I knew that I began to do something, do well for myself. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think everyone they're trying to digest because you've spoken like given us a lot of knowledge today, and a lot of people are trying to digest this. So I am still going to ask like about 2 more questions because I'm not seeing questions in the chat box at the moment, honestly.
I see a few hands raised up. So
okay. All right. Mr. Adura Migba. I don't know if you are here with us. Yes, please, can you go ahead and call the people who are raised hand, because apparently my laptop went out, so I'm using my mobile. So if you can see those raised hand, just tell them to take the floor. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So first I see
Mr. Desmond, please go ahead, sir.
All right. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Davis. Thank you very much. That was an awesome presentation. My question is, how will I put it? But I feel you're speaking more on the creative aspect. So I'm into business development, into business strategies, and so on. So, and last year, one thing that didn't work out well for me is that I had a business idea I needed to, to work on, to build. So I got a few people, spoke with few people about this business idea, and we started something. So we started something based on the fact that we are going to be sharing equity when we launch and start making revenue from the business. So, and after like a month, these people were like, okay, we don't think we can continue with this because I think I need money, like I need cash. I need to be paid cash while I do this. So the first developer did that, the designer actually did that, left with one person, and let me say the whole team left with one person actually, and that is what actually made that product to be redundant. We couldn't, work on it again, and that was on the first quarter of the year. I was like, okay, I want to go ahead with it. So the more I try to work on that, it didn't really work. One, I'm not a technical person in terms of development, design. I'm more of a business person, so I understand the business of what I'm trying to build, understand the marketing, everything aspect. But in order to to build this product, and one, you can't just put out things there that you haven't really built. You can't put it in the market. I also went for a lot of deal rooms, investments, and these people keep on asking a lot of questions about this, but they don't want to see it before they can invest. And the team that's supposed to also build this with me actually left because they are not actually seeing a physical cash, to keep up with their living, knowing what Nigeria is actually saying. So my question is, in that kind of situation, because I'm not, people will say start with what you have. Yes, when it comes to the when it comes to the like I said, the business, everything, the documentation, I've done that. But what people always want to see the prototype, we actually want to see the product itself. They say a lot of people have this paperwork, they have the same idea, but they have not put out things there. So my question is, for me, what do you think? Because I actually want to carry on with that project this year, knowing whether I don't have the technical skill, which is the first thing that the product needs. And getting the people also requires a lot of money, yes, because the developer they are requesting for a lot of money. So what do you think one can start with, or what do you like? You mentioned action plan. What action can one actually start with in building or starting up? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that question. I would say that this doesn't, you're also a creative, like it or not. As far as you're developing something, thinking, strategies, business developer, you're a creative because you're bringing something into life. Creativity is like an open sepulchre. It's in the wind, it's in the air, it just comes. You know that it's divine. So you are also a creative, whether you like it or not, sir. That being said, now, I would suggest, right? I'm not a business developer. I studied entrepreneurial and business marketing as my first degree. So I've run my business and my brand for at least over a little over a decade now. So in business, I think I know a thing or two. Now, what I would suggest is that if you can be able to create a prototype, something that when investors see, they will look at, because people want to see something, before they actually invest in these things. It's no longer word of mouth these days, because there are a lot of motivational speakers that will tell you if you persist, and nobody wants to put money in mere words. But if you create a prototype, look for people, even though it's expensive or it's something you cannot afford to, bet right now. Create relationships. You may want to step back a bit to create relationships with people, or you may want to look within or around you to find people that believe in you. Because as humans, whether we like it or not, one of the things we need to find, as much as we are finding our purpose, finding our daily bread, find people that believe in you. I know that the country is hard, and it's not just Nigeria, it's everywhere in the world. Let me tell you the truth. So a lot of people the first thing we do when we meet people these days, rather than create a relationship, we create an avenue to begin to collect, like, find me urgent this. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just building it, that we must have to create a relationship with people that will believe in you and that will go above and beyond to support your dream. Listen, it is God that sends people to people's will. It's God that sends men to your way. But if you don't hold them and you don't know the reason for which they are in your life, bro, you will just use them for, small things. And the main resources that, they can actually give to you, you will not be available to those things. You get? So look for people that believe in you. Sell this idea to them. People are business people. People want to know what they stand to gain. Even if somebody has 10 billion now lying in his account somewhere, before he gives you 1 naira, 1,000 naira from that money, he wants to know, what do I stand to gain? So you also need to have some good marketing skills in that area to say, okay, this is how I feel, that you don't see it like you are trying to benefit from this. Do it when you are selling it to the investor, sell it to the person like, this is what you will get for putting your, effort into this. You're putting your resources into this. You get what I mean? So by that, I mean, just get a prototype, something that you can sell, that you can market to your ultimate, customers. That, once they see, everybody will know that, they should, and see, sell it to them like, not like you are their mercy. That's one thing I've also noticed. Don't sell it to investors or helpers like you are their mercy. Sell it to them like, if you don't get this, it's your loss. And that way, it's the gods. They will look at you like, who be this guy? Who is this person? What gods? What confidence? So sell it to them, because don't sell it like you don't think. Sell it like they are losing if they are not putting their money into this. So believe in a product, get a prototype, and market it. That's what I think. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for answering that question. Yeah, we won't be able to take any more questions for now. Because I mean we've run out of time. I believe we've gained quite a lot. Thank you so much.
Ayodele's hand has been up since. You want to beg him to have mercy on you?
Yes. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Davidson. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Mr. Davidson, I've been following him quite some time. I think since 2017, 2 years. I've been watching his comedy, and he gives me his comedies, gives wisdom. Literally, I mean, you should go check him out. So thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. All right, our host, are you okay? Go ahead, please.
Yes, I am here. So I don't know, Mr. Adura. I think it's because if we can have Mr. Ayodele, probably like you want to say 1 or 2 things, because I think Davidson addressed the question that he asked earlier. So can we just have like 1 minute to just hear from Mr. Ayodele?
Okay, yes.
If that's fine.
Very quick, because
yeah. Mr. Ayodele, can you please have the floor?
Good. For the answer for the last question, but I still want to know. The last episode had gentleman, because I had a relationship with this visit 800,000 state business. And the friend said, he didn't really know. 200,000. That is to have a relationship is key. You just said you need to deal it.
Sorry, Mr. Ayodele. I don't know if it's just me, but the line is breaking. I don't know if it's just
your
me.
line is breaking, sir.
Exactly. I can't hear you.
We can hardly hear you, sir. I think your network is a bit it's distorted, sir. Can you talk again? Probably it's sorted yet. Mr. Ayo. Okay. All right.
Okay, can I ask my question now? Let me leave. You were saying something about a collection of money. Yes, actually, your kind of business is you collect upfront. My kind of business, I'm an architect. It's difficult for you to collect money from any of your clients without providing a design that is satisfactory to the client. Even if you have written out all how much you're going to collect, commitment fee, and all that, but it's still, if you don't satisfy your client, even after satisfying your client, they won't pay. So that is my major problem in my own industry. I'm not young in the business. I've devised so many means. My only problem is taking them to court, which I believe that if I take my client to court, in Nigerian situation, when you take a client to court, they've drawn a red line. How do I manage them that in the long run, I get the money without having to go to court? Yes, your answer for your kind of business is okay. Then the other question I wanted to ask, I wanted to actually talk about, you said that when you start a business, those people with a little creative mind, they follow it to the end. I also believe that creative people should be encouraged. Whatever idea you have, you follow it to the end. It's possible. I believe in putting my businesses in containers. Each container has its own milestone, how it's going to get to. So if I know that I have about 10 businesses and I now want to run on only one business, in Nigerian situation, one business may not provide for you. If you have about 10 businesses and you're able to put them in containers, you can be able to, when one is down, because you have what you call the frequency curve for business. You know, it goes to the crescent and drops down. So if you can put it in parallel, straight line, you can be able to survive. But if you are going to just run one business and follow it to the end, then you have so many other ones. There was somebody that told me to my face, I said that my idea will end up in the graveyard if I don't open up and get it done.
Mr.
Which you
Ayodele,
just said now.
our time, please.
So my question is me for somebody that's so many ideas, be able to that's
okay.
Because of time, let me just answer the questions, or rather react to the questions immediately in a very short time. So I'll start with the second question, where you mentioned how, so I actually said, I didn't say you should not run with other ideas. Don't get me wrong. I said sometimes, that's why I use the analogy of you know, they put audio, hand for mouth at the same time, right? Most of the people that I know have done all of these things successfully with big ideas, many ideas, right? They start with one. That's why I said, look at your book, open your journal, right? Look for the one that you can start with, that you have the resources to start with now. Once you have that one, start with that one. As soon as it begins to bear fruit, it will open doors and other ones will begin to come out. That way, people will see that you are reinventing yourself as a business person, not knowing that you've had all those ideas in it before, but they will think that you will just begin to be new. Let's take Dangote as a case study now. Let's leave entertainment industry. Dangote for many years ran a business, and that business has always been cement. When cement blew for how many years? Some years ago, he started Dangote Sugar, and then now he has established his Dangote refinery. Imagine he had all these ideas the same day he had the Dangote cement, and he says, as I'm starting cement, I'm starting sugar, I'm starting, you will fall to the ground because you may not be able to carry all of them together. Of course, he had support. They said he had family background. His uncle gave him how many million to start business. Beautiful. But since he is Dangote, he had all that support. Why didn't he start with all of them the same day? He will not be able to travel. He will not be able to go that far. So you need one that you know that you have the capacity to run with now. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, loud and clear.
You need one that you can be able to start with now. Don't kill the rest. I'm not saying you should leave there. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should kill the other ideas. No, those are the ones that will continue to keep you going. keep you going. Dangote now, you don't know the next plan that he has. Maybe his plan is to start banking or enter into another industry. You would think the idea is just coming to him in 2025. No, he probably had it years ago. But you can't put all the hands in your mouth at the same time, because you will not be stable. There's no how you may not be able to carry everything at the same time. Now, the first question, as an architect as well, that's why I gave the analogy of how my story went with the guy that owed me and all. What I feel that many people should take home from that story is that you should look for people in your circle, people in your industry that have gone ahead. I know that many businesses or even many, jobs have unions, have associations. It's not just to go there and gist, it's to see people that have gone ahead. Throw some of these questions to them. See, how have you been able to overcome these things? I may not tell you because I'm an architect, but I've worked with few, in the last couple of years, and they ask me for advance payment too. They pay. They actually do, some of them do. And, sometimes we don't go with the work that they bring. Truly, to be honest, we don't go with everything they bring, but at least they don't collect something now. So in the end, not be true loss, do you get? So you may want to build that system. Truly, to be very honest, as a business person, hungry go catch you, because some customers will go, they will now gaslight you. Are you the only one? How will you say I should pay you advance? If you don't want to do it, some of them will leave. But there's something about subconscious, when you believe and you know what you hold. The ones that are going are the nonsense ones. The real people will come. I know some people that, I used to feel in my days of, I used to charge 50,000. I used to feel like when I increase my fee, they will say, you are now proud now because you are now popular. So now we can't pay you anymore. So if I wanted to remain small, I would have said, no, you people, I'll still be collecting 10,000 naira till today. But when it was time for growth, of course, some people left, which they had to go. But today, now the kind of people that pay me for my service, I'm not regretting those people that left, because truly those days, there was a time in my life where I was busy every weekend for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will have events and activities. But when I increased my fee, I noticed that I wasn't that busy anymore for some time. And then when I met another level of people, I was more busier than I was busy that time. So as much as you develop yourself and continue to improve yourself, no worry, the right people will continue to come your way. So yes, you will lose some, but Baba, no worry, the right people will come. That's how I believe, and that's what has been working for me. So yeah, that's just to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davidson. And you've done justice to answering my questions, and I really hope you did justice to others too. And I've learned quite a number of things today, and I hope that personally, I am putting them, in my own day-to-day life. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Adura Migba. What do you have to say for us today to our speaker?
Thank you so much, Mr. Davidson. I really appreciate this, and thank you for showing up. This means quite a lot to me. Yes, Pastor Godman would know you show up for me, so yes, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, and God bless you always.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, all right, we have just one more thing, just very one more thing to do on our agenda today. And we have one more person that will definitely serenade us today. All right. And I don't want anybody to leave this call today, because we've heard all the speakers, they've spoken, and it's time for us to hear, some spoken words to inspire us, to take us to the next level into this 2025. Because I know we've jotted down some things, and there are some things that we want to put in our day-to-day life, and we have to just hear some words of encouragement. And I will be reading the bio of King Oje Kimba. He's an Esquire and spoken word minister, administrative expert, strategic advisor. He's a seasoned administrative professional and strategic advisor, King Aji Kimber brings a unique blend of expertise and passion to the table. With a background in law, he has earned the skills in managing complex environments, providing regulatory compliance services, and exercising sound judgment. But what drives King Aji Kimber goes beyond the boardroom. As a spoken word minister, he uses the power of his words to inspire, uplift, and empower others with a voice that can move mountains. He's committed to spreading hope, love, and transformation to all who will listen. Please have the floor, Mr. King Aji Kimber.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Good evening from here.
Good
Please
evening.
confirm that you can hear me and you can see me.
We can hear you and we can definitely
Okay.
see you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Shout out to David Sin. Thank you for that amazing presentation. I love your content. The different times I've seen you at the Elevation Church, you had come to serenade us. You've added a lot of vibe, a lot of color, and it's just good to hear your story and hear what you share behind, outside that, behind the screensaver, if I'll put it that way. So thank you. I listened to your session. I just couldn't leave. I had to stay till it was done because I love to hear the behind the scenes of great people like you. So thank you once again, Davidson. And to Adura, thank you so much for creating this platform. Thank you for listening to the Holy Spirit and for doing this. 2025 is a year for disciples. So if you're here, it's because God has a plan for you. This is a Kairos moment. This event is not for everybody. So that's why we don't have 500 people or 1,000 people. It's for those who are willing to take a retreat and learn and re-strategize to launch. So Adura, thank you that against the odds, you still push this and to be here. And this has been on during the festive season. You could have been doing Dirty December. You could have been partying, you could have been clubbing, but you chose to be here at this time. So it's because you value growth and you value personal development. Adura, congratulations to you and to your team, those working behind the scene who are putting this together. Well done. Thank you for having me. Adura
Thank you
said,
so much, sir.
he's my first host for 2025, and I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it. This means a lot. I like talking to small spaces, God has blessed me to speak to large, but there's just something about a group of 20, 15, and 10, and I believe that it's usually very, very effective. So thank you for having me. I do spoken words, but my spoken words is not usually inspired to refire to perspire. I don't have to rhyme. It's a cocktail of storytelling, inspirational words. That's my own style. And as I was, praying for this event, and I asked God what He wanted me to share to great people, because I believe that there are some people here who are probably doing amazing things in their industry, great things in different spaces. And He gave me a word, and it's titled Chase Impact, Not Success. That's the title, Chase Impact, Not Success. So I hope this blesses you. He was born March 14, 1879, a German-American physicist. He discovered the general and special theories of relativity. In 1921, he won a Nobel Prize for his discovery of the photoelectric effect. You cannot talk about quantum mechanics, physics, or mathematics without acknowledging his impact. In the field of science, he is referred to as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. His name, Albert Einstein. Despite being world-renowned and a global success, he made a somewhat profound yet thought-provoking statement. He said, "Try not to be a person of success. Rather, try to be a person of value." In other words, don't chase success, chase significance. This man died in 1955, 68 years ago, yet he's still speaking. a dead man still making impact in our world today. Albert Einstein taught me 3 things. 1, a person of success will be noted, but a person of value will be quoted. 2, if your presence does not make an impact, your absence will not make a difference. 3, a person of impact never dies, he's immortalized. The year was 2006 when I gained admission to study law in the prestigious University of Ibadan. Before I resumed, I wrote down my vision in my book. I had one goal: to be seen, to be known, to be noticed. My vision was that by the time I get to my final year in the university, in every 3 students of UI, one of them must have heard my name, King Ojikimba. I was going to be seen, to be known, to be noticed, from the vice chancellor to the janitor. And I started working, getting very effective in drama and radio and in my faculty. In my 3rd year at university, an opportunity came that would put me in the spotlight. I didn't want to be a cultist. That was not my journey to fame. I was not interested in campus politics, so I didn't want to be an SUG president or faculty president. I'm not a pastor, so I was not interested in becoming a fellowship pastor. That was not my journey to fame. My parents are not well-to-do, so I didn't drive a Benz to class, or I was not the son of a professor or a doctor. But I had one skill: I could speak. And I determined I was going to be the king of public speaking. The opportunity came at the university. It was called the Super Bowl. It's the biggest public speaking event in the university. Everyone attends the Super Bowl, from the vice chancellor to the janitor. It was a platform to be seen, to be known, to be noticed. About 500 of us registered for this contest, and somehow I aced every stage of the competition until I became one of the top 10 finalists in the Super Bowl competition. Once you're a top 10, you are already famous. It was a big deal. The posters of all the top 10 finalists were pasted all over the campus. Everyone could see these are the top 10 finalists in Super Bowl. When I walked to class, I walked with pride. My shoulders was already coming up. Yes, my fame was already spreading. I was going to be seen, to be known, to be noticed. My determination was that I was going to win. I wanted to be first place, because when Armstrong said, no one remembers who came in second. We all know the first man that stepped on the moon. Who remembers the name of the second? I said I was going to be the king of Super Bowl. It was either first place or nothing. Second place meant failure to me. On the day of the final competition, the hall, Trenchard Hall, was packed full with students. Everyone had come to witness the showdown, to know who was going to be crowned the king of Super Bowl. When my name was called up, I walked majestically to the stage, and I spoke like my life depended on it. When I was done speaking, it was apparent to the audience that this contest was down to 2 persons, King and Faith. It was time for the judges to call out the result. As Professor Yinka walked up to the stadium to announce the result, she had called the 3rd place winner, second runner. And then she said, second place winner, Super Bowl 2008. The whole went silent. You could break the silence with a hammer. And we all waited. At that moment, I closed my eyes, looked up to heaven, and I reminded God that I was his son. I made vows and promises, and I told him I will serve him for the rest of my life if he can just do this one thing. I told him I'll win souls for him if he can just make me win. Oh, I made promises and vows as I waited for the name to be announced. And then she repeated, second place winner, Super Bowl 2008, King Ojikimba. Push. The audience went wild. There was a confused noise. Immediately, I felt like a javelin pierced through my heart. At that instant, Faith Abiodun was announced the winner. I could see his family, his friends, they rushed up to the podium, they carried him on the shoulder, and they were shouting and jubilating. There were fireworks, confetti all over. And I could remember that song that was played for him. Stand up for the champion, for the champion. Ah, I was filled with envy. In all that frenzy, I was forgotten in the background. Second place. I stayed in the auditorium after everyone had left. I wanted to be the last to leave. And I packed out my consolation prizes. It was just an umbrella, pen, notebooks, and I carried it on my way back to my hostel. It was 10 p.m. and I remembered that as I was approaching my hostel, someone called my name from behind. King. I turned and I saw this huge muscular guy with tattoos walking up to me. At first, I was scared. And then he said, I'm so sorry. I was at Trenchard Hall. I was at Super Bowl and I was standing at the back and I heard your speech. The title of my speech was The Nigerian Youth, the Lifeline. And I was like, okay. He said, I heard you speak. And as you were speaking, I could see fire around you. I was like, okay, this is weird. And he said, I just came to tell you that I was a cultist. And then after hearing you speak, I decided to renounce cultism. I just came to tell you thank you. And then he walked away. I couldn't find my voice box for about 60 seconds. I just stood there, watched him walk away, and I couldn't speak. I was not the star of the show, but God made me the icon. I went to win an award, but I won a soul. Someone renounced cultism just by listening to a 5-minute speech. And that day, my perspective was shattered. As I walked to my room, I brought out my book where I had written my vision to be seen, to be known, to be noticed, to be one out of 3 persons knowing my name, and I canceled it. And on that day, a new vision was birthed. A new perspective was created. A new me was born. And I had clarity of purpose. And I wrote a new goal to give hope, inspiration, and salvation through my words. On that day, I made a commitment that I don't want fame. I want a good name. I don't want to win awards. I want to win souls. I don't want to touch plaques. I want to touch lives. I don't want success. I want significance. I've not lived very long, but in my 3 decades on earth, I have seen people chase greatness and I've gotten nowhere. But those people who focus on becoming a person of value, who have chased impact, have had greatness, chase them. In my 2 decades of speaking, as I focus on inspiring and giving hope and salvation through my words, I have won multiple awards, more than 16 awards, 10 from the Toastmasters International District Championship, and I'm just getting started. Now, this is why I close. You may not be first place, and that's okay. You don't have to be famous. Not all of us will be famous, but all of us can be great, and that's okay. Your face may not be on the billboard today, and that's okay. You may not be doing an event and selling out tickets and having a conference and having thousands of people attend. You might be doing just an event like Adura with just 20 people in attendance, and that's okay. You may be working behind the scenes and someone is taking the credit, and that's okay. You might be like Davidson, who just started his career and is doing all those stuffs and speaking and not getting recognition, but that's okay. But as long as you focus on becoming a person of value, when all is said and done, let it be said that this is a person of value because they brought sunshine into the lives of others. You may not remember anything I've said in the past 5 minutes, but I beseech you, let this one line be on repeat in the playlist of your mind. Don't chase success, chase impact. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That
Wow.
was that was incredible. Oh my goodness. I am totally speechless, which is not supposed to be as an oath, but this is just that was just beautiful. That was beautiful. I mean, Mr. Aduramiga, what do you have to say, please?
Oh yeah. I mean, what can I say? I was actually, I like the suspense, I was waiting to hear that, oh, you are the first, but I mean, I would say it's more like a tragedy, one, which no, okay, it endings, happy ending. So I mean, that was super awesome. That was it gives me, an idea that we shouldn't just chase the things we can see. We shouldn't chase, the tangibilities. We should chase the intangible higher impact. So thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like it's hey. So a successful person will be noted and a person of impact will be quoted. I am taking that, like that is, I'm putting that down. If possible, I'm going to frame that. I will frame that. So if your presence is not felt, your absence will not be missed. Thank you, King Ojikimba. Thank you so much. This is my first time hearing you, and this is my first time even knowing you. And I'm just glad. I'm just glad for the opportunity to be the host of this summit. I've been imparted. I've been imparted by everybody, the speakers, and it makes so much sense that King Ojikimba was able to just cover everything and just crown it all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that joined this meeting. And I know that Mr. Adura Migba has a closing remark for us. So please let's have it so that we can all go back to it's already late, so we can go back to our, doing our things. Mr. Adura Migba. You are muted, sir.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to, turn the extra light on, so I'm spotted. Thank you so much, everyone, for this. I can only say, what can I say? There is not much, I can say than to thank everyone, from the speakers, all the speakers. Actually, it was only just one of the speaker that the first day that all of this came to me, all the speaker I thought of, all of them, including the host, all of them were in this meeting, apart from just one person, and that is because it was scheduled for on the 28th, and the first day, and it was on he's a musician, so he was traveling between different countries, for his show, at that time. That is why, it declined. And yes, I got to, find someone else. But I mean, this is about, this gives me the idea that I shouldn't just think, I should indeed do. There are quite a lot of other things, that I've wanted to do, I'm trying to do, but not fear, but maybe resources. But with this, I couldn't think that, I could have the resources to pull all of this together. But I mean, you can see what it looks like. If you go check the Instagram page, you will see how bubbling, it's looking at. And if you go check it, the next 1 month, you're going to get all the recap of all of this. There's a lot of work that will be put into, the post-production of this. And of course, this is not possible without all the attendees too. I mean, imagine all the speakers showed up and they were impressed with attendance. I mean, that won't be so good. And thank you for King Ojikimba. I hope he's still here, because I know he has a guest. Oh, okay, he's out. He has some guests, but he has to be in this meeting instead all through. So thank you so much. I mean, I will probably share this part of this thing with you. Thank you so much for the encouragement beyond just calling you. In fact, I told him about all this. I never told him that he was part of the my lineups, and he gave me some things and some of the strategies, work for me. And yeah, thank you everyone who is part of this. And of course, this will be a yearly conference. Going forward, it's the first and it continues. Same time, on the 28th, either 28th of or 22nd of next year, and of course on the 1st, it remains on the 1st. 28th is my pastor's birthday, Pastor Godman Akinlabi. So I don't know, we might have to, but I mean, I'm super glad of to have hosted this and to be part of your life. And for this, there are quite a lot of comments I'm hearing them outside this, the people who join, the people who reward and all of that. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, I would appreciate if you could please send in your there's a link, there's something in the in what's it called, in the chat room,
yes,
back form. I would really appreciate. I'm looking at it now so I could repost. Oh wow, our claps and everything, put it there. But yeah, I mean, thank you. Please do well to fill that form. It will help me personally and the team that put this together to do better next year. Of course, we will keep to time. We didn't keep to time.
Today, yes, we keep to time.
Even the first day we didn't. But that just shows how passionate our speakers are. They went beyond their time and beyond their schedule to really pour out to us. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I couldn't have be calling everyone's name, but I mean, thank you. I'm seeing all the names. I'm seeing all the chats. Thank you so much. Some people showed up in this event today and yesterday and the first day, and I had to go chat them to say, oh, I see you, thank you for joining. And these people are great people. I mean, so thank you everyone. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Aduramingwa. And I just want to reinstate what our speakers have said. Don't forget, Mrs. Folusho Badamose said, if you aim at nothing, you will eat it every time. I know I don't want to explain what that means already. You already understand what that means. So to thy own self, be true to thyself. Davidson said, the enemy of a plan A is plan B. And always, you can start with what you have. And don't forget, the procrastination is a cousin of perfection. And King Ojika came back around it all that you should be a person of impact and not just a person of success. If your presence is not felt, your absence won't be mixed. And a successful person is noted and an impactful person is quoted. And thank you so much for having me on this call as your host. My name is Ayomide Olubumi, and I am popularly known as Ayo the Media Girl. It's such an honor to host this summit. Thank you, Mr. Aduramingwa, for having me today. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you, especially to you being a great host from the scheduling and walking through everything. Thank you for your support. I mean, special thank you to you.
All right.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope all men here are gentle. It's officially bringing the Race Summit 1.0
yes
close, and watch out for next year.
Yes.
Same date. Same the time can be adjusted, but same date. Most importantly, on the 1st of every January, we will be having this.
Yes.
Thank you. I love you all, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Yes, have a great 2025 and
Yeah,
come
Happy
here
New
next
Year.
year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to
Bye-bye. Happy
everyone.
New Year. So you can leave the call now, and
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.